Broadcasting and streaming around the globe from sea to shining sea. Right. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, Alex Dyzik, Consumer Reports, best cars of the year. The top 10 anyway. We may go deeper, don't know. Later, spring break driving. Jeff has a feature on that. It's all just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need Jeff Zekin. Chief Engineer David Ainsley is probably in bed. I'm Don Armstrong. I'm still in bed, too. I'm just appearing as myself.
He said sea to shining sea, so take your Dramamine, people. We're going for a ride.
We are going to go for a ride. Oh, Lord. Well, how was your week? We tried some new lighting in here this morning. I have to tell you that. How'd that work out for you, Mars?
Well, I almost blinded me, but
my retinas.
You were blinded by the light?
Yes, these new glasses aren't transitioned,
like
so
the
it was
glasses.
just like in your face.
It was.
I like them.
Thank you.
Makes you look 20 years older.
It was a failure, and we'll be back next week with more lighting technology 101. In the meantime and in between time, joining us now, Alex Dyzik. Alex, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
We were talking off the air just before we came on, and he was on our show about a year or so ago. Mm-hmm. And we discovered with that conversation that after his appearance on this fine car talk show, that he became a superstar and was getting calls from girls all over the United States 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it became a little overwhelming.
I'm sure it did. So, Alex, Consumer Reports has this little thing that they do, and it's a pretty big deal, actually. It's the top 10 picks for the best car of the year.
Yeah.
And so before we get to that, give us a little background. You guys have been doing this for a long, long time. And how do you drill down the cars that compete for the best of the best for the year?
Right.
Do you put them on the track? Do you look at them, love them, hug them? What? Tell me. Give me all the skinny.
All those things, especially the hugging part.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a lot of work. We test a lot of cars, over 50 usually each year, depending on what the market's up to. But so really to be on the list, it takes into account everything that we do. So that really starts with the road test, getting them on the track, getting them on the road. We buy all the cars that we test. So it's living with them. It's putting them through more than 50 different objective tests that we do. So that road test score that comes out of that's really like the primary thing, right? That comes first. So it has to be a well-performing car. On top of that, it's the surveys that we do with our members. So we do reliability surveys and owner satisfaction. So those two things are factored in as well. Reliability, people reporting what kind of problems they're having, and depending, it might be an engine problem, it could be a smaller problem like a squeak and a rattle type thing. So these things are kind of weighed appropriately and factored in as well.
And how many people do you talk to?
Over 300,000. And it changes depending on the year. So quite a few. And it changes depending on how popular the model is too, right?
Sure, of course.
Or Toyota Camrys than Maserati Grecales, for example. So then also owner satisfaction, right? Basically, would you buy this car again? So that's important. And then the last thing for being on the list is safety. We're really focused on safety. So all of these cars have to have standard forward collision warning and automatic emergency braking, down to their very base trim level. So that's a qualification. A lot of them on the list have more than that, but that's the kind of minimum qualification. So all of that kind of comes together. And essentially, that's how we come up with the 10 best, and then we sort it by various categories.
Are there some vehicles that don't make the cut just because they don't meet that criteria?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there could be a car that performs really, really well on the track. I mean, I'm thinking, about the Rivian R1T and R1S, right? They perform really well. They're impressive vehicles, but we don't have strong reliability data on them, right? A lot of problems. So that kind of keeps them from being on the list, even though, as a new car, they perform quite well.
Yeah. So, and that's something to keep in mind. I mean, as we're going to listen to you go through these top 10, I mean, there are some that make the cut, they don't pass, or they don't make the cut at all.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a holistic approach for sure.
Yeah. So do you bust them up between cars, SUVs, trucks, or do they all just fall into the same mix?
Yeah, no, we try to choose categories based on what the market's doing and what people are looking for and what they're interested in and what we see on our site and through talking with consumers and whatnot. So if you look at the list this year, you'll actually see that there's a lot of electrified vehicles, hybrids, plug-in hybrids.
Yep.
There's one EV on the list, and gas cars too. So I think that really just speaks to where we're at, right? We have all these options. So we're trying to tell people what are good within all those options. We know people are kind of on the fence. Do I go hybrid? Do I go EV? That sort of thing.
Yeah, sure. Well, where do you want to start? You want to start with number 10?
Yeah, I mean, they're not in any particular order as far as 1 through 10, but I guess the way I've been thinking about it is by powertrain. Kind of going EV,
sure.
EV, plug-in hybrid, regular hybrid, down to gas car.
All right, well, let's do it. You start.
Yeah.
We'll follow your lead, and we may shout at you somewhere
Absolutely.
in there.
Yeah, definitely. So as far as electric vehicles, we have the Tesla Model Y on the list. We actually had the Tesla Model 3 last year. But now we see that the Model Y's reliability has increased enough that it kind of bumped the Model 3 off, right? Because they're very similar cars, and the Model Y is just kind of a more practical version. You get more cargo space, easier to get in and out of, that type of thing. So reliability increased enough, bumps the Model 3 off, which is also a good car. And I think the really important thing about the Model Y is it comes down to the supercharging network, right? I mean, the car itself is great, but having access to that, I mean, it's literally changing in front of our eyes as more automakers gain.
The Y is a larger vehicle, and does it have the dual motors? Because the other one, you can get dual or single motors.
Yeah, so the one we tested is a dual motor, all-wheel drive, long range. The one that we tested. Yeah. So usually with electric vehicles and most vehicles, when all-wheel drive is an option, that tends to be the one we test.
Right.
So we tested the all-wheel drive Model Y. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what happens with the electric vehicle category going forward, because...
Well, you're of that age group. We're not.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't know. My world right now is EVs, changing our testing a little bit to account for what's different with electric and plug-in hybrids and such. So that's my wheelhouse at the moment. But yeah, I mean, as other, for example, the Ford Mach-E, the Mustang Mach-E is also a good electric car. But once it gains access to the supercharger network, which again is kind of happening now, maybe this list looks a little different for EVs next year. But so that's plug-in hybrids, electric vehicles. Moving on to plug-in hybrids. We have a couple on here. The first one is the RAV4 Prime Toyota. It's been on the list before. I mean, I don't know if you've all had the opportunity to drive one, but a pretty impressive vehicle. And as far as plug-in hybrids go, it has some of the most range, right? The electric range is over 40 miles, which we kind of see is the average that people do in a day, right? Commuting or maybe doing some errands, going to work, whatnot.
So let's stop there for a second. Now, this is a plug-in hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we should talk about what those are and why.
Well, there's that, and I guess my bailiwick here in judging these sort of things when it comes to Toyota is the success that the Prius has had for 20, 30 years now.
Yeah, the Prius, I mean, it really kind of laid the groundwork for this type of thing. And so plug-in hybrids are really interesting because over the last year, we really dove in pretty deep and started testing them heavily. We kind of would sample them and not really include them in the regular test program, but we actually just bought like 12 or so plug-in hybrids over the last year and kind of put them through the test program and looked at them a little differently. And these cars are something where you can get that electric range, the 40-ish miles, depending on the car, that smooth, quiet acceleration, whatnot. And then you don't have to worry about the public charging because once that range is up, it turns back into a regular hybrid for all intents and purposes.
Right. But, my bailiwick with that is the fact that to get the whole 40 miles, generally speaking, on the electric charge, I mean, that's a lot of money to pay for the pain it is to have to plug it in. If I'm going to do that, I just as soon have a hybrid.
Yeah, no, it's a great point, and that's I'm right there with you. When I talk to people about these, I try to tell them in the terms of what is the convenience or inconvenience to me for choosing one of these things, right? With a hybrid, like you mentioned, a regular hybrid, that is. I don't have to do anything differently. I just fill it with gas and I just drive it and I have it again.
Right.
fuel economy,
Right.
The plug-in, yeah, you're kind of adding that little extra lifestyle change where you got to plug it in really as much as you can to get that extra.
And you're paying for that.
You're
Not
paying
only
for it.
paying the electricity, but you're also paying the upcharge on the
Yes.
vehicle that's able to do that. And, you know, if you live in a community and your main driving is, you know, to church, to the gas station, to take the kids to softball practice, I get that.
Right.
But, you know, there's a price to pay for that.
Yeah, there is. Some of them do qualify for some tax credits. So you have to check that out, and you can actually see that on our site. We list out which ones qualify, so you
Right.
can get a little bit of a break there, but
Yeah.
it's not the full 7,500 that an EV can get. But
Right.
yeah, so we actually do have this pretty neat, and it's free on our site, this calculator that shows you, it doesn't account that upfront purchase price, but a per mile basis. You can type in your electricity rates and your gas rates and how many miles you drive, and it'll kind of show you gas, hybrid, plug-in hybrid, EV.
Well, that's
which
cool.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a
And
big
that's,
help.
and that's free on the website.
Yeah, it's free if you go into the EV hybrid area on our site on the cars side and then find the buying guide. It'll show you. You can go in there and play with it. It's actually pretty neat. We just launched that. You know, and with plug-in hybrids quickly, the other thing that I get a lot with talking with people who own them is beyond the cost factor, which is definitely a thing. There's this less tangible, harder to quantify, like feel good factor of not going to the gas station as often. There's almost this point of pride of like, oh, I went 600 miles on electricity and only went to the gas station once, or something to that effect, right? It's this like, you know, pride in not going to the gas station as often as
Absolutely. I had a Toyota, a Toyota Cross last week. The darn thing got 40 miles to the gallon. I'm
Yeah.
in on that.
Yeah, the hybrid version.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, just rounding out the list quickly with the hybrid or the plug-in hybrid. So that RAV4 Prime, the Toyota Prius Prime is also there, and then kind of this aspirational, no-cost object type of vehicle. We have the BMW X5 plug-in hybrid on the list, which is a pretty interesting car.
Yeah, it's tiny.
What's that?
It's a tiny car. It's small.
The X5.
No, it's not. It's a medium size. The X5.
What am I
X5
thinking
is,
of?
I don't know what you're thinking.
There's a small SUV.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, the X5 also gets you, you know, over 40 miles of electric range. But the cool thing about it, a lot of these plug-in hybrids, you know, once the electric mileage is up, you have, you know, a turbo 4-cylinder or just a regular naturally aspirated 4-cylinder CVT situation that is, you know, serviceable. It's okay. The X5, once that electric range is up, you actually have BMW's straight turbo 6 engine, you know.
Oh, wow.
8-speed,
Yeah.
as the backup, you know, powertrain. which is
Darn.
kinda nice. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's my incentive to charge that one is actually less because my backup engine again is that sweet.
Yeah,
6
exactly. Well, just turn off the hybrid part
Yeah,
of it. Even though you
exactly.
paid an extra 20 grand for it,
I know.
turn that off. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it's interesting because the plug-in hybrid aspect of that, the X5 is already a nice, well-driving, comfortable vehicle, and it kind
Exactly.
of just takes it to that extra level.
Yep.
But yeah, so moving on to hybrids, which I think are the really interesting ones because again, you don't have to do anything differently, and the price premium is a lot less. The regular Toyota Prius is on our list. But I think the Toyota Camry hybrid is an interesting one because it's a full-size sedan or close to it, right? That gets over 50 miles per gallon.
Love that.
Wow.
Yeah, you think that you have to go with the Prius to get that, right? Which, you know, the new Prius arguably looks a lot cooler and nicer than the previous ones. But
Yes.
Right.
you know, it's kind of got this, like, perception about it. Whereas the Camry is just a functional, you know, regular kind of looking sedan, but you can get over 50 miles per gallon. You can add all-wheel drive if you want. So I think that's a pretty sweet option, and it comes in, you know, under $30,000 is the starting price. And we're in an age of the average vehicle transaction price is around $48,000. So, you know, you don't have to spend a ton of money to get that type of efficiency,
Right. Yeah.
which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, very.
Maverick hybrid on the list.
Surprise.
Yeah, been on the list before. Reliability is high enough. I mean, this is an example of a vehicle that kind of, you know, to our conversation earlier about getting onto the list, you know, it performs well. It's incredibly practical, especially compared to pickup trucks. You know, if you don't need that extra towing capacity and off-road capability, being on that car frame, it drives well. It's pretty civilized compared to a full-size pickup truck in a lot of ways.
And you can get it in the garage.
Yeah, you can get it in the garage. Exactly. I know when I bring home a full size truck for testing, it sits outside. It doesn't fit in my garage.
Right.
Yeah, and then 37 miles per gallon combined is what we got out of it. So
not bad.
pretty impressive, and the reliability is good enough to make it on the list. So, yeah, pretty sweet little pickup truck.
Alex, you keep saying that the vehicles that make the list. Does the
Yeah.
criteria of your testing change from year to year, or do you have like a block of criteria that you move from year to year for these vehicles, or does it change?
Yeah, the answer is both, honestly. We have to stay consistent, right, with all our testing. I mean, I get this question a lot, because if we were to test a car, for example, that, 20 years ago, today, it would probably not, a car that tested well 20 years ago would not test all that well today, right, because compared to the competition.
Yes.
Technology
Right, so-
and everything, yeah.
We have to stay consistent for a reasonable amount of time so that scores are comparable and people can shop and know what they're looking at. But then, yeah, we do kind of have to move on and capture moving.
I'll tell you what, I sure would hate to be in one of your editorial meetings.
Yeah. Update every time.
Nice and complicated, huh?
Yeah, very complicated.
But yeah, so generally the criteria, though, stays pretty consistent year to year.
So you move with the times. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the last hybrid on the list, that's a really good option, is the Highlander hybrid, the Toyota Highlander.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, we know the three-row SUV segment's pretty competitive these days, right? With like Telluride and Pathfinder and Grand Highlander, all these vehicles going into the mix.
Well, I find it interesting among those four, three of them were Toyotas.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I know it. Yeah, you mean as far as the hybrids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that Toyota really refining that hybrid system over time. It's super reliable. I mean, it was pretty good when it came out, but they kind of take that iterative approach over time and just refine it, make it even more fuel efficient. The transitions when it goes from electric to hybrid mode are just super smooth, and it just works, right? You
Yes.
don't really have to think too hard about
agreed.
it.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah. So after the hybrids, we have some regular gas cars. So
There
not
you go.
into
Let's talk.
any of that.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about us old people.
Let's talk about gas.
Not interested in any of that electrification stuff. I totally get it. So we have three options here. All start under the $25,000.
Oh, very good.
Which is or close to it anyway.
Yeah.
Well under $30,000.
Yep.
That's for sure.
And they are, the drum roll, please.
The Crosstrek is the first one. Subaru.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I agree, because I'll tell you, Mr. Mars is going to do a review of one of them, and when I've had a couple of them, and I really do like it a lot.
Yeah.
Rides great, gets good gas mileage, roomy, convenient, nothing surprising out of the interior, but boy, it's solid as a rock.
It is a solid vehicle. There's no doubt about it. I mean, yeah, like you said, easy to get in and out of. The controls, I mean, they're not the flashiest thing, but they work.
And it doesn't look like a dud car anymore.
Oh, no.
No. Actually, the new one does look kind of cool if you look at it from the back. The way the
Exactly.
fenders kind of come out a little bit, and the taillights are pinched in a little bit. It actually looks pretty sweet.
Yes, I agree.
And also we got 29 miles per gallon out of it,
There you
which for a non-hybrid, and it's traditional all-wheel drive. It has a drive shaft, mechanical
I didn't
system.
get quite that much.
No, but Mars has got a lead foot. Okay,
Yeah.
let's move on. What's next?
Well, that I will say that's with the base engine. So I would, if you can spring for it, I would go for the more powerful engine in the Crosstrek. The base one's a little underpowered.
I agree.
Yeah. Subaru Forester also on the list. So another Subaru, and everything that's great about the Crosstrek, it kind of just is in a little bit larger and boxier of a package, right?
Yep, right.
Even more practical. It's actually the 11th year it's been on the list in a row.
Wow.
So some vehicles come and go. They've been on the list before, but not consecutively. This one, 11 straight years. So pretty solid. And I think, with Subaru, you see their redesigns are really, they're quite mild. They don't completely throw everything out and redo everything. So that kind of helps with their reliability and just, the vehicle progressing over time. And then the last one is the Mazda 3. First time it's been on our list. And, I think, again, a car that's been around a little while. So reliability, as the models tend to age, reliability goes up. and really proves that you don't have to spend a ton to get a car that isn't boring.
I love the Mazda 3. The only thing I don't like about Mazdas in general is the infotainment system. I think
we're there with you.
Oh, good. I'm glad somebody else agrees too.
And that's coming from
the rotary dial thing is a little, cumbersome to use, and the way they have it laid out is not the best. So that is a con of the car for sure, but it drives well. It punches above its weight in terms of interior refinement.
They got great engines.
Great engines. You can get all-wheel drive if you want, hatchback if you want. Yeah,
Agreed,
pretty nice little car for sure.
Yeah. So that's it. The top 10. Well, it's always fun to go over these and the reasoning behind them and y'all's testing. I mean, everything about it is spot on. And
that's what makes it so interesting, is to know how they do it.
Yeah, true. And the surveys. Mm-hmm. I mean,
300,000 people.
300,000 folks that participate. And, I think that it's a fair, unweighted kind of thing that you guys do. Hey, go out and buy the car and let us know what you think. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That part of it's pretty easy.
And hopefully Alec had all 300,000 people watching this episode.
Yeah, absolutely, that are following you.
Yeah, following you.
Plus the group from last time. So
there you go.
Very good, too. Alex, it's great to talk to you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us today. Consumer Reports top 10 picks for best car of the year. Alex, let's talk again soon.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Always fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to remind everybody that the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. And a new daily podcast is available from your favorite podcast provider. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break. Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In-Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston, Texas, April 4th through the 6th at NRG Center, featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, trucks, customs, and more. Broadcast on Motor Trend TV and streaming live on Max. From avid collectors to those new to the Mecum experience, we welcome everyone. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, just shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. What did you say, Jeff?
No, I didn't say anything. Mike was going to push the button. We're not ready for the button pushing yet.
There's no button pushing. I'll take care of the Sue. She's outside balking. She's balking out there because she's going, I want to get in there. That's what the donuts are.
It's nice and chilly outside for her, so she's grooving on it.
She is grooving on it. Okay. Mr. Jeffrey has a special feature. Is it the cruise-in calendar?
No, we're doing the spring
I'm
break.
sorry.
Now, this story came to me from my cousin Douglas in Corpus Christi a few weeks ago. He says, hey, we're getting ready for spring break. They've got new roads, the onslaught of people going across the bridge, traffic backup, nightmares of all kinds of things like that. So this kind of inspired me. Looking into it, there's you got to be careful. You really do.
Yeah, there's a bunch of silly people out there.
Yep, you do. So there are traffic fatalities in 14 popular spring break destinations from Florida to California. Discovered that death tolls rise almost 10% during spring break in these destinations. The higher fatality incidents among drivers under 25 years old, and they're from in-state and out of state. So be careful. Some of the things that you can prepare for and to watch for is the number one is the weather. If you're going on a road trip, make sure you know the weather ahead of time so that you're not in a snowstorm or rainstorm or hurricane or anything like that. Be advised of the conditions because it can impair your driving. Mind your tires. If you have improperly inflated tires or if your tires are bald, you're going to have issues.
You're axing for trouble.
You're axing for trouble with them accidents. So bald and underinflated tires can lead to accidents, especially, Mike, on wet roads. Keep your car stocked with emergency essentials. Now, you do this anyways when you go on trips. I mean, you got the cooler, you got your potato chips and your sodas and all that stuff. Pack essentials like a first aid kit, a flashlight, jumper cable, spare tires, and all the necessary tools to do something like that. If you got a fan belt, you got the half-inch socket, you got your 10 millimeter, probably lost it, but you can get another one.
Gotta have some duct tape. Don't forget the duct tape.
Don't forget the cold fried chicken and the salt and
rope
pepper.
and a shovel in case you need that as well. But extra water and snacks is good. Stay hydrated when you're traveling. Prepare for spring break traffic, and this is a big thing for folks. Now, do you know Miami is not necessarily going to celebrate anything for spring break in the Miami area?
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
it's all problems.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that.
We've had some ugliness down there in Florida.
Yeah,
when
they
it comes
do.
to spring
Well, and a
break.
lot of the coastal towns where it's nice warm weather and nice sandy beaches. Mind the road regulations. Follow the speed limits. Wear your seatbelts. Obey the traffic laws, people, because the life you save might be one of ours or our family members. So aggressive driving behaviors is a no-no. Distracted or tired driving is also an issue. So if you're tired, don't get behind the wheel. Or if you're tipsy or a little inebriated, same thing. Don't do that. Check your car for road trip safety. Inspect it. Brake lights, headlights, turn signals. Does your air conditioner work and you go into a warm climate? Because you'll be miserable traveling with 3-4 people in the car, or if you're going by yourself, it's just miserable. So remember, safety first. Always be a priority when embarking on a road trip and the fantastic spring break adventures.
Hey, today's In Real Time Car Talk Show is sponsored by the group of original Lupi Tortilla restaurants. They are in Houston, Beaumont, and College Station. And Gulf Coast Auto Shield, along with Pro-Am Auto Accessories. We will continue here on the In Real Time Car Talk Show.
I got to get it going. Hold on.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to load it.
Are you?
Trying to get loaded.
Yeah. Well, that's no change from when you were 18,
No, not at all.
16.
Okay, I've got the wrong one set up here. So
Do you? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, we're just going to tap dance and wait till you get done.
please. Okay.
Tell me when you're done.
And it's going to be another few seconds here.
Oh, good Lord.
I know.
Well,
We need to change it.
I guess so.
Okay, so we're going to push this button.
Hey, by the way, coming up, we're going to talk to Scott Lengel. I guess that's the way you pronounce his last name. He's the CEO of Adventure Genie, and we're talking about spring break just a second ago. I think that you're going to enjoy what he has to say and all of the
That one,
things
right?
that we are going to. Pardon me?
I'll talk
You
more.
talking to me? Okay, well, I'm going to do this. So thank you all for joining us. Our show continues right after this.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupe Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupe Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Heard and seen around the world. It's the N-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we talk to Scott Lengel, CEO of Adventure Genie, AI-driven RV and camping adventure planner. That's a lot. Can you fit all that on a business card?
I think so.
Jeff has this week's Cruise Ins, and we'll have stories making auto news headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Scott, have I mispronounced your name all morning long?
No, you've pronounced it perfectly.
And
well done.
How did I pronounce it?
You said Lengel, Scott Lengel.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
We'll take it.
All right. Thank you. Anyway, Scott, thanks so much for joining us today. Adventure Genie. Well, let's talk about Adventure Genie. What does Adventure Genie do?
So Adventure Genie solves a problem for the RVer and camper who's out looking for things to do, places to go, places to stay, things along the way. And it used to be, even just a couple of years ago, it was incredibly difficult for the RVer or the camper to plan a trip, to plan an adventure. There were lots of different applications. They were all standalone. They weren't connected. It ended up, if you were a user and you were trying to plan a pretty simple trip, it was unbelievably time-consuming. It was really complex. It required a huge effort of researching. Like, you just want to go somewhere simple from point A to point B. You want to go from Savannah, Georgia to Yellowstone, and there's such a distance between you. How would you even know where to stop along the way?
I wouldn't even know which way to go, which highway to go on.
Exactly. And it's not personalized. It was really just a nightmare. So we came up with this idea that there had to be a better way. And this whole world of AI that I know it's a little bit scary, but it's really not, of artificial intelligence, we figured there had to be a way to leverage the body of travels. People have been traveling for a century over our roads now. So if we could take all that information of great places to go and things to do and the routes to take and the places to stay, if we could take all of that information and we could kind of couple it with what people like to do, like what are your likes, what are your dislikes, what are your preferences? Do you like to take a northerly route or a southerly route? Do you like to power through on the highway or see the scenic byways? Do you like to stay in a modern campground or a little bit more rustic? And if we take all of that information together, we're able to use the power of AI to kind of sit there as your co-pilot, not your pilot. It's not an autopilot. We're not going to plan everything for you without your input. We're going to give you suggestions along the way and let you tweak it and do some what ifs until you get the perfect adventure that really feels like it's customized for you, almost as if you had your own personal concierge. Concierge? How do you say that?
You did it. Yeah.
You got it. Kind of like Lengel.
Lengel.
Some people call that wife.
Yeah, there's that. So clearly you have got some sort of camper RV experience, and not some, probably a lot.
Surprisingly, not a lot. What I do have is a lot of software experience. I used to work for Microsoft for a couple of decades, retired a couple of years ago, became a photographer, started traveling the world, doing world-class photography, honestly. And then COVID hit, and we couldn't travel anymore. So my wife, Lisa, and I said, you know what? We haven't really seen the good old US of A. We haven't gone to the national parks, the highways, the byways, got ourselves an RV, started traveling to the national parks. We're from the Savannah area, Bluffton, South Carolina, and going out west was kind of a foreign thing for us in a car or in a vehicle, and now in an RV. And it was just really hard to find places to go and stay and things to do. And so we've only been doing it for maybe about 3 years now. So, but we got a lot of miles under our belt.
Well, I was going to say that's probably a good thing because you taken it from the very beginning as far as experience is concerned. And for me, in particular, I know nothing about it. There's something attractive about RVing. What kind of RV do you have?
I was going to ask.
Is it a bus? Is it a pusher or what?
Yeah. So we started out with a Class C, which it was built on a Mercedes chassis. Yep. And a Sprinter van chassis.
Yes. Right.
And now we do have a Class A diesel pusher built on a Freightliner. So we've gone from one extreme to the other, kind of. And yeah, it's kind of funny drive. And by the way, my wife Lisa does the vast majority of driving.
Well, that's cool.
Probably about 90% of it.
So you're in the back making sandwiches and coffee.
We do that. Every once in a while, we might make a bacon, egg, and cheese or something. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. You said that in the beginning you were hampered on where you could go. Is that because of the vehicle you had? I mean, cars and SUVs can go to certain locations, but when you get larger, like the larger vans and the A class, you're kind of limited on where you can go and park. Now, is that an issue, or do they still have the KOA camps and things that you can go to?
Yeah, it's totally an issue. So we have that built into our system, though. So we will give you, depending on the size of rig, coach, vehicle, whatever we want to call it these days, we will give you a route that is safe for your vehicle. Mm-hmm. And we err on the side of being overly cautious. So sometimes we're going to just give you a little warning, like be extra careful. And of course, always use your eyes and look at the signs and road conditions and so forth. So driving is a little bit of an issue, but we help you through that part of the process. But honestly, the harder part of the process is just figuring out where to stop. You know, go back to that. Here's the prototypical example. I'd like to take a 6-week trip of the national parks of the Southwest, starting in Bluffton. I know I'd like to stop in Asheville. I know I'd like to stop in Nashville. And I probably want to, I would love some recommendations for barbecue along the way. Mm-hmm. So imagine if that's all you said. Very simple English-like phrase. I want to start here. I want to go and tour things like the national parks in this vicinity of the U.S. There's a couple of places I'd like to stop along the way that I know about, and I'd like to go to some car museums and eat barbecue. Step back and let Adventure Genie do the magic for you. It will plot your route. It will make recommendations. Again, we're just a co-pilot. We don't lock you into anything. We make suggestions on stops along the way. We make suggestions for places to eat or visit along the way. We make recommendations for specific campgrounds for you to stay at based on what we know about you and what you like and what you dislike and what you need. Like the bigger coaches, you often want 50 amp service. If you have a camper van, you might go boondocking and not care about electricity at all, or do 20 or 30 amp. And everything that we know about you, we feed into our algorithms and create the perfect customized adventure just for you.
How much does it cost?
$49.99 a year.
Wow.
And for our Wheel Time folks, we have a deal, Wheel Time 10, and you'll get 10% off our.
You're a promo
our
code.
rate.
I'm a promo code. Well, you know, I've always wanted to be a promo
Now,
code.
Scott, let me ask you this. You say you can plug certain things in destinations, because when we travel, Kathy and I travel, well, we're going to hit that on the way back. We're going to do this going up there, because she'll plot that out where she wants to go, and we'll go do it.
Yep.
So can you put in, like, if you're in a SUV, hotels, I want a hotel between these rates. Does it accept that? Is it like a GPT chat type thing?
Two things that you just mentioned, I'll
Right.
bring the two of them together. Is it a GPT chat kind of thing? So at the highest level, you could kind of think of it that way. But since you know GPT, it's you go in and you give a little bit of information,
Right.
and then you kind of clarify it, and you get into a conversation, and eventually it'll spit out something.
Right.
And it's really just raw text, and then you have to go and figure out what to do with that. Well, what the experience at Adventure Genie, yes, is kind of similar, but what we do is we take the components of the trip and build a route for you. You'll have a map, you'll see the starts, you'll see the stops. We'll build an itinerary for you day by day, everything that you be doing. We build a calendar view for you so you can go at a glance and look at your entire trip. We export it to a GPX format, so you could import it into a Garmin and be on your way to go. If you were using the mobile version of it, you can go right into your GPS tool from your mobile device. So similar in a chat GPT format where you ask for things to do, not similar because we take that and build it into a trip planning tool, a really rich, visually enhanced trip planning tool that takes everything that we know about you and the environment into account. The other question you asked was about hotels. We currently, the places to stay are all campgrounds, RV parks,
Okay.
targeted at the RVer.
Gotcha.
However, we do have some users that are using it just to take a road trip. You could absolutely use Adventure Genie in your car, and once you get to specific locations, you could use another tool to figure out where you're going to stay.
Yeah,
hotel.
or turn it off and deviate from your plan or from that plan and do your own.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
So, Scott, taking that a step further, could I fly into Denver and start there?
Absolutely.
Because I don't
And-
have 2 days to drive to that area, but I want to spend some time up there.
And you're going to rent an RV when you get there?
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
We have great news to announce because we just announced it this
There you
week.
go.
We have a partnership now with RV Share. RVshare.com was the first and largest renter of RVs. And you could kind of think of it as like the Airbnb of the RV world. So people that own RVs put them into the pool. RV Share orchestrates it. So that is a perfect use case. And for Adventure Genie users, it opens up a whole new world of opportunity. We had been targeting users who own their own RV and would start from Bluffton and go cross country. Now with our partnership with RV Share, start anywhere you want. You don't even need to own an RV. You use Adventure Genie, you plan your trip. So in this case, you might say, oh, I don't know, we're close to Sedona, Arizona right now. So you might say, all right, I'm going to fly out to Sedona, Arizona. I need to book an RV. Through our integration with RV Share, now in Adventure Genie, you can directly book an RV and say, I'm going to take it from Sedona, go out to Vegas, maybe back to Utah, and return it back to Sedona, Arizona. All done within Adventure Genie. And through our partnership with RV Share, you grab your RV and then you fly back home.
Can you pick your
One
RV?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And
if I want a big diesel pusher, I could get that. Or if I want to have a whatever you call it, a Class C, it's like a
Large van.
a large van or something like that. A converted, yeah. So I can pick and choose.
pick and choose from a towable to a drivable, and if you're in a drivable, you get to go the whole range from a van to a big diesel pusher.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, that's an idea, too. If you did want to drive to Denver, take 2 days to drive up there, but you didn't want to pull a trailer, you just wanted to haul donkey up there, you could get there and get the trailer while you're there.
You need a donkey hauler for that.
Yeah.
And
Which is on the site.
what RV Share offers is the ability to, they'll even deliver an RV for you, right?
Wow.
So if you wanted to, go to a particular campsite, your RV will be there all set up for you, and you never even need to drive it or tow it, which is pretty cool.
And at that point, I say, "Hey, Mars, you suck." Yeah, that's not right. There's something definitely wrong with that aspect of it, but I guess it's good to know.
If you're going to Sturgis or someplace like that, it's there when you get there.
Okay, I got it.
Speaking of that, people fly in and they have their bikes shipped to Sturgis, and they fly in. Yeah, same concept.
They do.
Yeah.
You got to book that early. And that's the other thing you could do is you could book your campsite through Adventure Genie, through another partnership we have with another firm called Spot Tonight. So now we are literally the only application on the planet that allows you to rent an RV, plan your great trip and journey, and book your campsites on the back end.
So does your brain work just 24/7? I mean, do you never sleep at night, or how does that work? What's happened here?
Sadly, that's pretty close to the truth. Yes, but one of these days I'm going to use Adventure Genie just to go on an adventure and take a relaxing vacation. And
yeah, I want to go see the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show in person live.
That's right. I've got one for you. So Mike wants to fly to Europe. Does it have the same capabilities? If he wants to do something in Europe and travel across
the pond?
Yeah. Somewhere over there in England?
All I can say is stay tuned.
Okay.
There's a huge need, and it's actually a pretty interesting RV community in Europe. Obviously, it's a little bit more condensed and smaller geographically, and a little bit more traffic and so forth. So the RVs tend to be a little bit smaller, but it's a very passionate RV community in Europe, in Australia, New Zealand, other parts of the globe. So yes, look for Adventure Genie.
Does Lisa ever say to you, Scott, please stop? I cannot go on any more RV trips with you, at least for the next month. I got some laundry to do or something.
No, make me another sandwich, Scott. You're driving on the road.
You have hit Lisa's name.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome to the Lengel household, which is
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm married to a Type A personality.
Yes, pretty much. And it's funny. I mean, it really is funny. We're on the road probably 50% of the time. For instance, right now we're in Sedona. We're going to Vegas for a rally, and then we're going.
Wait a minute. What kind of rally is this?
Yes. It's a motorhome rally.
Oh my God! Of course it is.
Not a blackjack.
Do you have racing on the schedule there?
I think we're going to be doing like Jeep tours or something. I don't know if that
sure you are.
That quite counts.
Yeah,
yes, along the strip, down the strip.
Yeah.
And then we're going to Tucson for a week, and then back to Vegas for guess what? Another rally.
So do you have Adventure Genie on the side of the hauler?
We have Adventure Genie on the side of the Jeep. It's the Genie Jeep.
Oh,
of course.
I guess you tow that behind the great big Freightliner.
We do tow it behind the Freightliner.
Is it an enclosed trailer, or is it on its own wheels?
No, it's flat tow, 4 wheels down. You take it out of disengage everything, and it just rolls along with you.
Gotcha.
Doesn't put any miles on the odometer, but the brakes are being used the whole time. And I got to get my brakes replaced when I go to Vegas. If you know any good guys, let me know.
No, I was going to say, and that would be another question. Can you, if you do need service on your vehicle, can you plot that through Adventure Genie as well?
Yeah. Today, you can't. Every 3 weeks, we're releasing new software, and it's in what we call our backlog. But today, what you can do is you could find service centers along the way, a little bit generic, and truck stops mostly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we expect to add full service centers, call them points of interest across the U.S. We already have about 500,000 points of interest.
Wow.
Here's the interesting thing about that. We have like static points of interest that are built into the product, but through the AI, you could just say anything and say, I'd like to find take me on a trip of the football stadiums of the East Coast, or the best bourbon trail locations in Kentucky, or tour wine country. And through our AI, we'll let you do anything. The best car shows,
best barbecue.
What I'm thinking is, okay, so I want to do this, but I want to do this on a budget. Can I do it on a budget? Does the Adventure Genie tell me that I can do it on a budget or no?
Yes, especially for places to stay. So RVers are very cost conscious. It's a very affordable way of travel. Staying at a campsite versus a hotel. Once you've invested in your RV or you rent an RV, campsites are relatively inexpensive. But yeah, we allow you to choose, high end to rustic to moderate. Use your little sliders and say what range you'd like to stay in, and absolutely, we help you to find a budget-friendly trip.
AdventureGenie.com, and they can call you at 3 o'clock in the morning and ask you questions.
Absolutely. Hit our little chat. Send me a message. I'm always up and love to talk to people.
Scott,
yes.
Please, when you talk to Lisa, she's probably in the other room over there. Just tell her our condolences, okay?
She knows. She's a hardy one.
I'll bet. Well, thanks so much for joining us. AdventureGenie.com. It's great to talk to you. Check in with us every once in a while. Let us know where you are.
Will do. Great chatting with you guys. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank
you do
you.
the same. All right. Time now for the cruise-in calendar.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, that's you.
Right.
It's right there on the schedule.
On the schedule?
You have some
I got
cruise-ins?
it. I got it. On today, the 9th of March, which is we're in almost spring, like you said, there are a bunch of cruise-ins all around the state, all around the country. But I picked some selections from just this area. Today at 8 o'clock, you got the second annual Railroad Express Cruise. It's at Buc-ee's in Waller. Now, who doesn't like that? It's Waller, Texas. Today also from 8 to 10 going on right now, you've got the Cypress Cars and Coffee. That's at Fairfield Baptist Church in Cypress. 8 to 10 a.m. this morning, Sienna Cars Meetup, Mike. It's not far from here at the Primrose School of Sienna in Missouri City. Kingwood Classic Cruisers, Cars, and Coffee at the Whataburger. I like it, in Kingwood. And then this is hot off the press from Michael Wooding. He's got the Houston Pontiac Club Cars and Custard at today. It's
Cars and Custard.
Cars and Custard. It's at Ritter's Frozen Custard at 3427 Fry Road, Katy, Texas. Cruise in at 4 p.m. tonight.
You're a big custard guy, aren't you?
Custard. He's got a little on his
Or a
cheek
little
right
mustard.
there. Mustard.
Is it
yeah.
mustard or custard for you?
But I'm
And then
thinking
tomorrow-
it might be a little cool for custard today.
Tomorrow is Octane and Espresso at Black Rifle Coffee in Houston. That's at 8 to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. All Ford event is at the Total Off-Road and More in Houston. It's
All Ford.
All Ford, Total Off-Road and More at Westheimer. So the Y-Teen LIFE, the Y-Teen Life Car Show for a Cause, is at the YMCA in Shadow Bend, the Woodlands.
It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
It is. You can do the thing. You
heard
can do the
that.
dance, too. And then also tomorrow from 5 to 7, Sundays at Freddy's. Freddy's on 1960 in Houston. And the last one, this is actually for March 12th. This is my favorite. It's the I-Chihuahua Classic Car Cruise-In. It's at the I-Chihuahua Mexican
Wait a minute,
Cafe
that's
in
the-
Spring
Wait
Branch.
just a minute. You're mispronouncing. It's the Chihuahua.
It's the
Yeah,
I-Chihuahua. It's Chihuahua. There you go.
All right, thank you,
I like
sir.
that.
Some headlines for you. Actually, news stories. There's a gap between perception and reality when it comes to dealership pricing and financing, according to the KPA 2024 Dealership Trust Survey. But the survey by the dealership safety and compliance firm still reveals dealerships have work to do to gain consumers' confidence. 3 out of 4 Americans surveyed said they do not trust dealerships to be honest about pricing. But only 1 in 3 reported experiencing hidden fees or dishonest salespeople. Additionally, 86% of respondents reported being concerned about hidden fees when buying or leasing a vehicle. However, 30% said they found hidden fees on paperwork after agreeing to a price. Buyer beware. Most people have a good experience at a dealership when they buy and finance a vehicle. That's according to KPA CEO Chris Fanning. He says, for those who don't, they report it, then that definitely gets conflated into a bigger issue, perhaps, he said. Survey was conducted by the Harris Poll for KPA in mid-January and asked 2,000 adults questions regarding their buying and leasing experiences at car dealerships. The CARS rule, a new FTC regulation for dealerships, was to take effect July 30th. However, the agency postponed its implementation until a court challenge by the National Automobile Dealers Association and the Texas Automobile Dealers Association is settled. The regulations would create specific requirements for dealership advertising, finance, and insurance practices, and document retention. Buyer beware.
Yep.
One man died. Another man was injured after a shooting Tuesday at Palmer's Airport Hyundai in Mobile, Alabama.
Uh-oh.
What was the price on that vehicle? That's too much. Boom.
Uh-oh.
Dealership employee and another person got into a confrontation Tuesday evening, according to Blake Brown, the Mobile Police Department's public information officer. Both were shot in the store's parking lot. Police would not confirm whether the men shot at each other. They were taken to the hospital where one man later died of his injuries. Police did not release the men's names or say whether it was an employee who died. Palmer's Airport Hyundai declined to comment. Investigation is ongoing.
Wow.
Yeah. Really? Go to the dealership to buy a car and boom, you're dead.
Kind of a review of that car.
Tesla Cybertruck's no longer commanding over $200,000 at auction as more come to the resale market, with one wholesaler declaring a market crash Wednesday after selling one last week with a high bid of $244,000. That's stupid money right there.
It is.
Tesla has a huge reservation backlog for the stainless steel pickup that launched in November, and U.S. dealers have been paying as much as double the sticker price for the Foundation Series Cybertrucks that are the first to be produced. But Wednesday's Manheim auction in Dallas brought final bids of $195,000 and $189,000 for two Cybertrucks auctioned by wholesaler GiveMeTheVin.com, which sold the first Cybertruck at auction last week for $244,000.
So they have to wait a certain period of time before they can resell them, can't they?
I don't know.
I don't think there is on those.
Not on Teslas?
I don't think so.
Like the Ford GT.
Right, yeah.
Some of them they did, but I don't believe there's anything on this.
Huh.
Yeah, it's ugly. I think I forgot to take a break, didn't I?
No, we're queued up for it if you want.
Are you? Mm-hmm. Well, I think we're going to take a break because we've got a long break to come. So y'all just hang in there with us. You're on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and we thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned. Oh, I hit the wrong button here. Give me just a moment, please. God.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call, and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In-Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV. But we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston, Texas, April 4th through the 6th at NRG Center, featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, trucks, customs, and more. Broadcast on Motor Trend TV and streaming live on Max. From avid collectors to those new to the Mecum experience, we welcome everyone. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
Howdy. Breaming around the world from the Sugar Shack Studios in Texas, USA. It's the Ed Will Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, Rodney Rodriguez, our Texas racing play-by-play guy who knows everything. We'll have the racing calendar in case Rodney doesn't know all the events and dates. That's followed by Mars, who gives us an in-depth review of the 2024 Subaru Crosstrek. Howdy. Along with Mr. Mars, we need more Jeff Seekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join this crazy hodgepodge of a mess-up morning that I have created for us. Well, it's not been just me. It's just kind of one of those hacks that we've run into every once in a while.
We've got so much on our plate, we need a bigger plate.
I mean, I did want to explain to everybody that all of us have things to do. Like, I get to run the commercials, and Jeff gets to do the video aspect of it. And Mars, we're still trying to figure out what
when
the heck
the videos are in order.
Well, there's that.
or when they're even in
There you
The
go.
computer, because Mars does that at home during the week. So forgive us, for we know not what we do.
You don't believe what I can see on these videos that he's plugged in.
Yeah, well,
My eyes are burning
Now,
sometimes.
now, somebody that is plugged in is a worldwide, nationally known play-by-play guy. His name is Rodney Rodriguez, and he is our man about town. Rodney, good morning.
Morning, guys.
How are you?
Wasn't it better when it was just audio only?
I will say this. It was a whole lot easier, I can tell you that.
Whole lot easier.
A whole lot
one
easier.
one little Wi-Fi blip the other day when AT&T went down and then Facebook broke. People were lost, weren't they?
I'm telling you.
Yeah, what is wrong? What does this world come
Went
to?
back to the caveman days.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, what's next?
How have
What's
you
next?
been?
Been good. It's been kind of working up to the season. Houston fires off tonight, and for me, that's really when my season starts. There were supposed to have been a couple of other dates, but Mother Nature hasn't played nice with some of that.
course.
Hadn't played nice this weekend with a lot of racetracks up north.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, the weather has been really crazy. I mean, it's been ugly, it's been damp, it's been wet. I haven't flown. I didn't fly at all this past week, at all.
None?
None, not at all, which is very unusual.
Yeah.
A lot of fog. We've had a lot of fog and all that stuff here that's kind of prevented, and wind.
Same thing for you, because you're just outside Austin, aren't you?
Yeah. And it hasn't necessarily been, that the weather's been bad. It's just been extremely windy or just cloudy, foggy in the morning. It's really weird. It's a crazy weather pattern.
Yeah, it is. And as soon as the weather gets done with what it's doing right now, we go into hot.
Yeah. We just
And it's going to be
straight into hot.
nonstop hot for the rest of the year.
Yeah, no doubt.
So let's talk about racing. So tonight event is asphalt or dirt?
Asphalt. March, what's it called? Track Madness 2024 over at Houston Motorsports Park. Getting set to roll for the first of 11 nights.
Really?
At HMP Oval. Additional information on Facebook, HMP Oval Track. But really looking forward to what I think is going to be. I think this is going to be that consistent year that place has been looking for. Don, as well as anybody that, it was, we had some good years and then things would kind of fall off a little bit. But I think this is one that's really going to bring some consistency into pavement racing.
Car count going to be up enough for me to buy a ticket and go see?
Oh, man, you don't have to buy a ticket. Come on out. I'll get you in half price.
Half price. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. No, but I mean, people come to see all sorts of races, and they want to see the different cars, but they want to have, at least a half a dozen cars per race. You think that's going to happen this year?
I think that'll happen. That'll happen in the majority of the classes eventually. I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody go tonight and there'll be a dozen in each because I can't make that guarantee.
Yeah.
That's like forecasting the weather.
How is the racing atmosphere amongst the car owners and drivers? I mean, are people still getting out there and wrenching on their cars during the week and then take it out to the racetrack on a Saturday night for tons of fun, or have people cut back like they're doing on so many things these days?
You see a lot of that on the dirt side because it's still possible on the dirt side because the dirt side has what asphalt racing lacks, which is more of true stock car classes. With IMCA stock cars and street stocks and factory stocks, and that's something that Owen Pittman there at HMP is really trying to do this year because the dirt factory stock, as it's called, which is the steel-bodied, metric or leaf spring-based race car, they race those on dirt in a factory stock, but they're running on a 10-inch asphalt slick pull-off on a used asphalt tire. So what Owen has done, and the basis of these rules is stock. I mean, they don't run that way, but it is stock. No headers, none of that stuff. What Owen is doing is trying to pull, because Owen runs two different dirt tracks himself. So he's trying to pull that class over onto the asphalt. And I think if that happens, that's going to be a game changer right there.
What would prevent that from happening?
Those factory stocks on dirt, Don, they race for a lot of money. There are $5,000 to win shows, $10,000 to win shows. It's crazy.
Where do they get the money? Where does the promoter get the money for that kind of purse?
Well, that's where it takes a lot of folks just coming together and wanting to be a part of it, and that's where I'm hoping that racing can grow a little bit. And I know that money's hard to find, but it's so much where local short tracks are reliant on the short track community to your business, Don. Let's say the three of you guys had a business.
We do. It's called InWheelTime.com.
But no. Let's say you individually had a business, like whatever, 3 different businesses,
right?
And you go to the racetrack. We're going to go to, or the promoter's going to go to each one of you and be like, hey, you want to sponsor a whatever class, or do you want to add to the points fund, or do you want to make it the In-Wheel Time Truck Series, or whatever. And that's where I'd like to see the sport grow to where it's not reliant on just us. That's where we got to market. We got to market ourselves.
Are the gates similar between dirt and asphalt?
Man, dirt, they just blow it out of the water, man.
They do?
Those factory stocks that I'm talking about, when they have those big $5,000, $10,000 to win shows, they'll have 60 to 70 cars.
Wow!
So
all the families that come with the cars, they're all in the stands.
Sodas and hot dogs and popcorn.
Yeah.
So, Rodney, has the purse increased over the years? Has it increased from last year, as an example?
No. Well, it has. It fluctuates the purse because that's where, I may say, you know what, this week I'm gonna add an additional $1,000. Not that I would ever do this because I don't have this kind of money. I'm gonna add $1,000 to the modified fund or something. That's where it fluctuates. But that's the thing, though, when you talk to a lot of people in short track racing, is to where the cost to do it, no matter the surface, whichever, the cost to do it has gotten a lot more expensive. But at a base purse on a regular Friday or Saturday night show, you're still racing for what you raced for 25 years ago.
So that fluctuates so far as the track sponsorship, the track ownership. What about the teams and the drivers? Obviously, they've got to increase their budgets for their cars and their tires and their engine parts and things. So do you see that as an increase this year as well?
Yeah, because that's definitely something. Those prices they never go stale on the stuff that you're talking about.
Well, you're a racer yourself. You know about this sort of thing. How about, I want to get into racing. So I know somebody that's got a street stock and they want to sell it and I want to buy it. How much is something like that? You pick the series. I don't know anything about that, but you pick the series. Pick a car for me. How much money do I have to spend?
I think if you went like on the asphalt side or dirt, you remember the Eco Stocks?
Yep.
Yeah, I like those. Those are cool.
4 bangers.
Yep.
So they have those on pavement and they have them on dirt. So that would be, if you're going to start that green, if you're going to start green, that's where you would start. And there you should probably be looking at $2,500 to $3,000.
Oh, that's all. Okay, I thought I was waiting for you to say, "Well, that's going to cost you $10,000," because you got to press
that's
the
what
car.
I was thinking. Yeah,
get roll bars and
fire suits,
all that stuff.
Well, and that's where like these factory stocks that I'm talking about, and this is where, I'd love to send you guys the rules and then send you a video. You read the rules and you watch them and then be like, how the hell? But anyway, that's just a whole different discussion. But what you get into with the stock classes, and this is what kills stock car street stock racing on pavement, in my opinion, is that you get these cars where people start purpose building these things, and that's where you buy a bare frame chassis. When people want to sell you a bare frame chassis, a roller for $15,000,
no, that defeats the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, go race a truck or something else. But one of those is $25,000 to $30,000, a bare roller, and that's where it's just like, the sport costs so much money, and it's the downfall of it all the time.
Right. All I'm thinking of is buy yourself used, maybe a 10-year-old four-banger. Probably going to be some four-door sedan or something, and get out there and run it. But you got to prep the car. So you got first of all you got to buy the car, then you got to prep the car. I guess that there are guys around town that'll prep the car for you, put in a roll bar and take the headlights out and that sort of thing.
And then the bad part about that, Don, not to interrupt you right there, but I'll forget if I don't tell you this.
Yeah, tell me.
Is that you get in a class like that, and let's say, because that class is healthy or has been healthy.
Right.
Let's say there's 12, like your number, 12. Let's say there's 12 of them, but there's like 2 or 3 that are just miles better than everybody else. It's like, that's where, like with NASCAR, with this car where they're trying to level the field and all that.
Yeah.
That's what an entry level class needs to be. Because if I'm sitting in the stands and I'm thinking about exactly what you're talking about right there, but I go week after week and it's 2 dudes that are winning all the time and they're just lapping the field. It's like, why do I want to subject myself to that?
I would read the rules first and then go get the car to find out what my restrictions are by the book, and then I would go get the car.
I don't know if I do that. I think what I'd do is I'd buy a winning car, and that'd be the end of the story. Don Armstrong now owns the car that's lapping the field. His Roddy used to own it. Now I bought it.
The other thing to do is kind of a combination of what you guys are talking about, but kind of like right there in the middle. Read the rules, take the rules to somebody who knows how to build a car, and let them find the gray area in the rules.
That's what I'm talking about.
Then build your car.
Rubbins Racing.
That's what happens.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's talk about the tracks themselves. Houston Motorsports Park is one. That's here locally. What other tracks are you calling?
For me this year, it'll be obviously Houston. Then I'll do South Texas Race Ranch over in Corpus Christi. That's a great dirt track there.
And how long is that track?
That is a quarter mile dirt track.
Oh my God, it's a little bowl.
Yeah.
It's a little bitty, but it's wide. And then occasionally maybe do some stuff out in Edna at Texana Raceway Park, and that is a great 0.4 of a mile racetrack, and that is a beauty.
Is that dirt?
Yeah, it's dirt. They've gone in and new bathrooms, new press boxes, new concession stands. The place is great. It's out in the middle of nowhere in Edna.
Where is Edna?
Edna is probably about 49 miles this side of Victoria.
Yeah. Okay. So in other words, we could call it Aunt Edna.
Yeah. I every time I go to Edna is actually Flag City, USA. Just a little tidbit right there for you.
And it's close enough to Houston; they can get the Houston participants as well.
That's it.
The fans.
Yeah. So it's like an hour away.
Yeah. A little,
for you guys it would be.
Yeah. Right.
Nothing's close for me. Hell, they're all far. And then you've got Cotton Bowl Speedway in Page, which is also dirt. Mm-hmm. That's a big 3/8 mile. That's the newest racetrack that I know of. In the
Cotton
state.
Bowl Speedway, isn't that up by Dallas?
No, that's in Page.
Page. I don't know where's Page.
Page is about halfway between you and me, so it's a little closer to me, I would say. But it's pretty. That'd be
between Houston and Austin.
Let's just turn the page on that one.
Let's turn the page. Funny. Yeah. So the only asphalt is Houston Motorsports Park.
Yeah, Houston. If you want asphalt, the other asphalt stuff that I'll do will be like next week. I'm going back to the Rattler 250 in Opp, Alabama. Then you'll have of course Five Flags Speedway, in Pensacola, Cordele Speedway in Georgia. Mobile. So yeah, it's like,
is Mobile still up and running?
Mobile is off and rolling once again, and they've gone in and they seem to have a pretty good program put together based off of what Gina put together there. Gina brought that place back to life, and I want people to remember that. It's like folks are just going on and on about how great Mobile is. Yeah, well, if it wasn't for Gina, it would still be in mothballs.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So basically, Houston's about the only asphalt track.
Well, besides Mobile.
Well, in Texas.
Yeah, in Texas. Yeah, Houston is it.
Are there
Houston
other
is it.
tracks that
All dirt.
everybody else is dirt?
Everybody else is dirt. You've got up north in the DFW area, you've got so many dirt tracks up there. And right in between, I always say the equator is Waco, Heart of Texas Speedway. 58 years. 58 years they started their racing season last week again.
Wow.
So you got that, and then as far down south as Corpus, and everything in between.
All right, well, let's talk about my favorite dirt track series, and that would be World of Outlaws. I'm sorry, I don't know what you think of it, but I sure like the excitement of that.
Yeah, well, they were supposed to be racing in Texas last night at Kennedale Speedway Park up north. Rained out both nights. They were going to do last night and tonight, so that's been rained out. They are actually going to be at Cotton Bowl Speedway that I was talking about. I think that's March 28th and 29th. I may be wrong with that. Yeah, the Page one. Yeah. Now I highly recommend going. You guys should cover that show because that track is so big, guys. That place, if it was paved, holy moly, we'd have a great
and what's the name of the speedway?
Cotton Bowl Speedway.
Cotton Bowl
in Page, Texas.
Yeah, check them out. That's going to be it's a Friday and Saturday night twin bill. So I think it's 2 nights of World of Outlaws that you're going to have there, and that's right at the end of the month.
Man, I'll tell you up your alley, buddy.
Yeah,
highly recommend.
Yeah, I know. It's a throwback for me, and I love winged sprint cars, and they're scary fast, and they have some crazy wrecks. They like to roll over all the time.
So have you seen now that they're kind of doing the same thing asphalt's done? Now you've got the High Limits sprint car series, which is started by Brad Sweet and Casey Kane and all them. It's sort of a rival to that. So now within a couple of years, they're going to be trying to. It kind of is already something where guys are having to choose which series they're going to race in. But that's more of a midweek series, I guess. But still, 410 sprint cars with wings.
It's really difficult for me to go in the middle of the week somewhere.
Well, see, these drivers, normally they're big profession and their big money's on the weekends. They do the weekdays just to stay tuned and keep their skills sharp is what it is. And they can afford to do it.
It's like those Tuesday night college baseball games.
Yeah.
That's when you get your hard work done, middle of the week.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, Rodney, what do you think about Honda getting into NASCAR?
Hey, we need another OEM. I just assumed that it was always hoped that it was always going to be Dodge. But
the problem is the problem with that is the engines they can't keep up. They can't rev that high. Those engines, the configuration of the engine itself is not conducive to the high RPMs that they turn in the Chevys and the Fords.
Well, now with the new car being essentially a spec car to where you single source parts for everything. I mean, you can't. I mean, the engine. I'm not going to say it's a crate engine, but it's pretty much
basically a crate engine. Yeah,
basically a crate engine. I think it's time for it to happen, and I think Honda's a great addition in my opinion. A lot of folks still are just irritated and frustrated when you mention the word Toyota, and it's like if you go back and you look at the advances that have happened in racing development and stock car racing development on the NASCAR side, it's because of Toyota. Toyota racing development has done so much as to where the bow tie and the blue oval, they have as well.
Yeah, they push them.
They've been piggybacking off of what
they push them to be better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, my friend, it's great talking to you as always.
Hey, you as well, guys.
And best of luck tonight. Are you driving in today? Because I see that you're up in Austin right now.
Yeah, I was supposed to be there last night, but I had some stuff pop up. So as soon as I'm done here with you, I got to cut a couple of audio spots, and I'm on the road, eastbound and down, in the words of Jerry Reed.
There you go.
Well, we love you. It's great talking to you. Let's talk about mid-season and see what's happening.
That's right. Come see us, guys.
You bet.
Thank you, man.
You betcha.
Bye. Rodney Rodriguez, announcer extraordinaire at Texas Racing. Yep. Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. Podcasts available from your favorite podcast provider. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break. Stay with us.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston, Texas, April 4th through the 6th at NRG Center, featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, trucks, customs, and more. Broadcast on Motor Trend TV and streaming live on Max. From avid collectors to those new to the Mecum experience, we welcome everyone. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
Thank you, and you are on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
Right.
Time now for the racing calendar, sponsored by Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge.
And we just heard from Rodney. Rodney's got a lot of stuff going for your local racers and things. But today, and starting now, we got NHRA. It's going to be on Fox. Starting today is the Pep Boys NHRA Top Fuel All-Star Call-Out in Gainesville. And then tomorrow is the NHRA Gator Nationals. So
is that going to be on Fox?
It's also going to be on Fox. But these times, like the first one today is on at 7 p.m., so it's a rebroadcast. It's not going to be live. And then tomorrow, again, it's going to be 9 o'clock. It's on FS1, actually, but at Fox Sports Television. So it's on those channels.
FS1?
FS1.
So I can't see it on broadcast?
No. You got to get FS1 if you're
I refuse to do it.
I got you. NASCAR is actually at Phoenix Raceway. It starts at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Of course, there was truck races and the Xfinities going on. Tickets still available, Mike. So if you need to go, take your mom out there. Formula One, what a debacle. Debacle is an understatement. They're in Saudi Arabia. I watched some of the qualifyings.
Pardon me just a moment.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever taken your mother to a NASCAR race? You ever taken your mom to a race?
No.
No?
No.
Would she know what to do? I mean, she'd cheer somebody on.
Let me just say, in my younger days, she knew to call the police department to find out where I was when I used to do a little
We're
street
still
racing.
doing that. Jeff and I are.
You're running late this morning. We already had a APB out on you.
Yeah, anyway, go ahead.
But
Jeff.
anyway, Saudi Arabia, the Formula One, what a debacle. They should have let Andretti in because they keep bumping into themselves and ruining the sport is what it is, my opinion. And then, of course, Indy coming up tomorrow, Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. I love it. Open wheel on NBC. Don't know a time just yet, but it will be there. And
you know what NBC
stuff.
stands for, don't you? Nobody cares.
Okay. All right.
That's what that is.
Good deal.
Okay. Time now for this hour's car review. Monsieur Mars has the 2024 Subaru Crosstrek.
Go ahead, spit it out. It's 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness, which is all-wheel drive because that's just standard on the Subarus. This is the third generation of this vehicle, and it's available in 5 different trim levels. You can get the Limited, you can get the Base, the Premium, the Sport, then the Limited, and the new for 2024, the Wilderness Edition. Now, this is a small SUV, but like we were talking with Alex at Consumer Reports earlier, it doesn't really feel like a small SUV.
It makes their top 10 list.
Mm-hmm. It does. And in fact, on the Monroney we got, it says it's Consumer Reports recommended. So apparently they like it a lot.
I like it too.
So when you look at the outside of it, on the exterior, you're going to find LED lighting all the way around with the responsive headlights that are going to be fully follow your steering and stuff, which I really like those kind of things. It does have the ladder type roof rails, which I was surprised to find out that it will support 700 pounds up there on the roof of that thing. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen anybody tout that kind of level. So you're going to find the heated side mirrors, got a heated windshield on it. We had the optional moon roof and the optional 17-inch black finished alloy wheels, which looked really good with the Alpine green paint option that we had.
Yeah.
It was a nice looking combination.
It was.
And got a lot of comments on this vehicle. So you move into the interior, we had the StarTex trimmed upholstery, which is a synthetic leather, and the Starlink communication connected services that go along with that on the 11.6-inch multimedia screen. That's where you're going to find your nav, all your convenience controls. And we also had a wireless phone charger, had front and rear USB so that everybody in the vehicle could get plugged in and stay connected.
I like the dash
through
pod.
the Starlink.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like that.
We also had the optional cargo cover in the back that folds out, which I like those because things that you got back there keeps them out of sight, out of mind if somebody that happens to look in there and decide they like it enough to want to borrow it from you. Mm-hmm. And we had the optional Hardin Karman audio system, which I highly recommend in this vehicle because there is a little bit it is an off-road type vehicle. It's very off-roady wilderness set. So it's got a little bit of road noise on it, but you can blast that smooth right on out of there and not have to worry about it. We also had the 2.5-liter Subaru Boxer engine. Now, this is the larger engine that we talked about briefly when we were talking with Alex. 182 horsepower, 178 pound-feet of torque. Not a race car by any means, but it's got plenty of power to do what you want to do. It's backed by a CVT, but it does have an optional 8-speed manual mode that you can use with the paddle shifters. So if you're out really into trying to do a little off-roading and you want to pull that down and try to do a little manual controls with the transmission, you can do that.
You can do some jumps with that.
Getting some donkey on.
You can do that. Yeah.
Get your donkey on.
And I also was surprised to find out about this vehicle because of its size that it's capable of towing up to 3,500 pounds.
Wow.
Which is almost the vehicle weight.
And 700 and something on the roof and then 3,500.
I mean, you got this thing loaded down then. Now, the EPA says the city, you should be looking for about 25. Out on the highway, you should be looking for 29 miles per gallon. So your combined runs out to 27. Now, I drove this vehicle 383.3 miles, got 25.6, and I was very happy with that because I really like the drivability of this vehicle. You get in it, like we were talking earlier, you get in it, you feel good, the doors swing wide, so it's easy to get in, you feel comfortable, you feel confident in your driving position.
I feel good in anything.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And the seats are elevated a little bit. It's got a high roof line, so it feels roomier than what it actually is. And by the same token, that also gives you a lot of viewing space through the glass from the driver's perspective. So you got great driver views. Now, the base model on this vehicle is $26,540, which surprised me again about the pricing on this. The base trim that we were driving is $31,995, and MSRP is $35,955, including a $12.95 destination fee. If you're looking for something that's also in that category, you might look over at the Ford Bronco Sport, $31,230 for the base. Jeep Compass is another small SUV, $25,900, and the Mazda CX-30 comes in at $24,995 in that small, highly competitive small SUV category.
Thank you, sir. If you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook. Back in a flash,
The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
From the world-famous Sugar Shack Studios in Texas, America, this is the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Ahead, Bobby Sparkman, Jeremy Taylor, Hot Rod Tour of Texas Inventors.
Yeah.
And later, what's on TV this week, along with the stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, we always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Speaking of joining us, here they are, ladies. The Bopsy twins from Victoria, Texas. Here they are. Look at them, looking sharp.
We're coming to you guys live here in Johnson City, Texas.
Oh, you're in Johnson City.
Wow.
You're not in Victoria. What are you taking are you doing a test run?
We are. We're making a road trip. any reason to get out of the house and drive these
All right.
roads.
So are the wives with you?
Nope, just us.
Oh my God!
Wouldn't be a road
We're
trip if they weren't.
unsupervised.
There's trouble in River City.
You need to get a hold of Johnson's authorities right now.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
unsupervised.
do you ever go out there to the LBJ Ranch?
We were just there.
Did you? Well, how is it out there?
Beautiful. We just saw a big coyote run across the road.
Yeah. And when he saw you, he went on a little bit faster.
Yep.
Well,
Beautiful.
TikTok, boys, April 25th through the 28th, Hot Rod Tour of Texas. And already I've heard that there's a change in the meetup, the meet and greet, if you will, to get your sticker and all of your stuff.
Accoutrement.
And so where is that going to be down in Victoria?
Go ahead.
Oh, it's actually at our downtown square. They're building a new plaza. Mentioned before, is our 200th birthday in Victoria. So they built.
I was
brand new
there when
plaza
it was
downtown.
invented.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was there 200 years ago.
Yeah, people might
It'll be
not.
the bicentennial of Victoria.
People don't know this, but Victoria in Texas is actually called the secret. Victoria is the secret of Texas. Didn't know if you
Fantastic little
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys grow up there?
Yes,
We did.
Okay.
Sure did.
So
I lived in San Marcos. Lived in San Marcos for a couple of years.
but and then you went back to and so you're really true Victorians.
True Victorians.
Got it. So on the main square, is there going to be enough parking for 350 cars?
We have blocked off with the help of the city, the entire downtown area of Victoria.
I love it. Well, how are they going to? So how are they going to know me from Jeff?
But
Jeff's going to take the wife's
I
car.
think they're going to
We're
know
going
you.
to be watching for you.
Yeah, it's going to be Don's. Don's got an arrest record. And they'll just
Well, I have
figure
to
him
tell
out.
you this, that I've actually thought about doing a windshield header that says "In Wheel Time."
There you go.
InWheelTime.com. I was thinking about it if you're
Hey.
buying it.
I'm just
There
wondering.
you go.
Could we put that on there?
We
and
got
then-
white shoe polish.
Yeah, we could. I
No,
can
we're
put
not doing,
doors
we're not,
and all that,
we're not
put a
doing
number
damn
on.
white shoe polish. No, but seriously, that's what I thought about doing.
We need to talk to John.
Well, I
We
just
have-
I just
we
talked to
have the
John.
same-
So I have to tell you that I
Anyway.
bought some new seats for the Corvette, and I've also got
gonna break 'em in.
and I've also got a dash cam now. So we look
All right.
forward and we look. Yeah, I've been spending some dough, as well as other Hot Rod Tour of Texas entrants, because I've seen the posts. Hey man, I'm still working on the car.
I
Should
saw
be
those
ready.
too.
And-
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of guys that are looking forward to this, like me.
Yep.
Yeah, the guy with I don't know if you remember the 55 Chevrolet, the twin turbo 55, the flat black one.
Yep.
He's building a Gasser 55 to have on the tour this
I
year.
think we posted that. Yeah.
A gasser on the
Yeah.
tour. I love it.
6 gas stations to a mile.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we start off in Victoria on Thursday. We actually don't go anywhere other than the square down there. Is it
Right, right.
going to be food and cocktails?
There's food trailers. There's a lot of restaurants that are going to stay open late. There's a lot of boutique shops for the ladies to stay open. There's several bars downtown that are going to stay open, and Victoria just became approved as a entertainment district. So the downtown area, you'll be able to walk up and down the street with your cold beverage and enjoy the shops and all that kind of good stuff. All of the downtown merchants have joined on board with us to do some stuff. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on downtown.
So
that
you
night.
two have energized, single-handedly, each of you have energized the city of Victoria.
No, the city of Victoria is energized. We're just being a part of it.
Well, but I will say this. I mean, this is the third one, and I've been to the first one, been to the second one, looking forward to this one. But let's face it, I mean, things have progressed. It's grown, and it's become famous. I mean, I'll never forget.
Definitely grown.
Yeah, I'll never forget what I think it was last year. We went. I don't remember what city it was. They had the fire truck out with the big American flag hanging in the middle
That's
of
the first year in Yoakum.
in
Yep.
Yoakum.
Yoakum, Texas.
Are we going to go back to Yoakum this year?
Actually, we are.
We are. And you guys are going to love the goodie bags because most of these cities are providing maps and tourism guides and all kinds of good stuff in the bags.
Oh, that's awesome. So are we going to be able to put an in-wheel time card in the bag?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's due to arrive either today or Monday. And as soon as I get it, I'm going to ship it on to you with some other stuff.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are who we are.
That's right.
Whatever you
guys-
want to
you guys
believe
are-
us to be,
I
that's
know.
what we are.
I know.
Yeah. All right. So when we head out on a Friday morning, we're meeting at a different place in that too,
We're
aren't
meeting
we?
at a different place. We're meeting at a baseball field. It used to be the Victoria Rosebuds.
in our
stadium.
downtown park.
Okay. So we're going to go back downtown to meet up to get out of town.
Yeah, it's on the edge of downtown.
Okay. All right.
That's
Right
okay.
side downtown.
Well, I think that you've kind of outgrown the sport bike place over there.
Yes.
We outgrown it and we backed up traffic about 3 miles when we pulled out because we had so many cars.
Yeah, I know. And I was right there
That's
with
the fun
you.
part.
Yeah, well, it is for you. It is the fun part. All right, so where do we head on Friday morning?
Friday morning, we'll head out actually down the same main road, Navarro, that we left in the past couple years, right?
Yeah.
We'll head out toward Yoakum. There's a back road that we'll take to Yoakum.
See some camels.
Yeah. Well, not that far yet, but
It's coming.
But yeah, so we'll go to Yoakum. We'll stop at the Shiner Brewery again, like we did the first year.
Oh,
We'll
nice.
stay there longer this time.
Good.
And now they have barbecue. Actually, a barbecue restaurant there too.
And if you want to make the tour, go online to Shiner Brewery and you can reserve your tour time. So
Ooh.
you definitely want to do that if you want to make the tour. The tour is very cool. We've done it several times.
Yeah.
Well, are they going to take us inside the brewery, or is it the? Oh, they will.
Yeah, the tour actually takes you inside where the brewery is. They go over the history of the brewery. You get some tokens for some drinks,
samples.
The samples, yes, good samples.
Yeah,
we like samples.
I'm not a beer drinker, but I have to tell you that I did enjoy that because they've got different kinds of Shiner beer. You know,
they've also got liquor now, and they've got frozen drinks as well.
Yeah, baby. Now you're talking.
And that liquor, they call it moonshine, and you can only buy it there.
I like it.
Is there a limit on how many times?
It's a very cool tour.
Is there a limit on how many times you can take the tour?
No,
I don't think
Mike
so.
needs a bagload of tokens, is what he needs.
Yeah, that's what exactly. Okay, so we go to Yoakum, and then we go on to Shiner, and then we're headed to New Braunfels.
Yes, in a roundabout way. Yep.
Yeah,
We'll go through another small town, Moulton,
Moulton. Yep.
and then we'll go a back road to Gonzales.
Isn't Moulton a Polish or a Czech community?
I believe it's Czech.
Yeah.
I believe it is Czech.
Yeah, because way back when I was just a itty bitty teeny weeny little boy, I worked with some guys from Moulton, and I believe that they were Czech. Yeah,
Get some good kielbasa and things.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so and then we go to New Braunfels.
Correct.
Right.
And are we doing the drive-in movie this year?
Yes, we are.
We are doing a drive-in movie.
And hopefully we don't have some big
uh,
nasty thunderstorm.
No,
Yeah.
it's gonna be beautiful weather.
Yeah,
Yep.
We ordered it special.
good,
Hopefully
good.
the order goes through.
So we spend the night in New Braunfels, and we get up the next morning. We all gather up somewhere, and then head out again.
Right.
Yeah, and before the drive-in, we're going to make another stop at Sampson's Performance and Restoration.
Yes.
You guys-
Yeah.
You guys enjoy? Oh, they've got some amazing builds that are going on right now. We were there just last weekend for their open house. Amazing shop.
Well, I have to tell you that interview that I did with one of the boys there, that got
You're in
lots
the clean
of
room.
hits.
Yeah, the clean room,
the
the
clean
engine.
room, and so I don't know whether we're going to do. Mr. Mars is going to line all that stuff
Hopefully
up.
we can, take full advantage of. They've got a lot of stuff there to talk about.
Yeah, they do.
It is really amazing. They've got some fabulous builds going on there.
You know, I was going to say, I know that you got everything in order this year, but I thought, we need to head out there toward Iron Resurrection sometime because they live out in the sticks out there.
We
And,
were there this morning. They were closed up, sleeping in. I guess we were there this morning.
Well, I would imagine that the only time that they work on the weekends is when they're doing a video shoot out there, and
Right.
because to my experience, I can tell you that when the video guys are there, they work long hours, and
Yeah.
as you can imagine. All right, so
we've scouted that location out as a potential stop for the tour, but there's just not nearly enough parking.
correct. I would imagine that would be the case, but I was thinking maybe a drive-by wave or something just to say that we were
Absolutely.
there. Yeah. At any rate, so that's going to be out of New Braunfels, and we're going to go to Sampson Garage, and then where do we go?
Then the drive-in.
Then
Now,
the drive-in.
before the drive-in. At the drive-in, we're going to show Smokey and the Bandit this year, the original Smokey and the Bandit. And
Very nice.
We're going to do a best car, any car that was in Smokey and the Bandit contest, and best costume. So you can dress up as any character in Smokey and the Bandit.
I want to
We
be.
got some cool
I know. I don't fit the profile, but I want to be Buford T. Justice.
No.
I thought you were going to be the bride.
Yeah, Sally Fields is the bride.
The bride. I think I'd be. I could
Sally
pull that
Fields.
off.
Yeah,
I could.
you
I
could.
could be the bride.
You could.
Throw the dress out the tip.
You got the
out
walk.
T-top.
and I've got the T-top.
And you got
There
the
you
walk. You can sashay
But we
to
got some really cool stuff we're going to give away there on those costume contests and the best car.
That's awesome. Well, that's good to know. So, is all of this stuff listed on the Hot Rod Tour of Texas site?
It is on the site, and it's when you go in to get your tickets, it's also there. If you go to our website, the HotRodTourOfTexas.com website, and join the tour, the full agenda is there.
Okay. Well, I think I've already joined, haven't I?
Yeah, you have.
Okay.
We got you.
Because I know I sent my dang money in.
Yeah, and Mike and I are tag-alongs for the show to process. So we'll be there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I'm going to have to buy my
And we
dress. I'm going to have to buy my dress before I get on the road because I'm not going to have time to stop at some costume shop or some dress shop and buy it.
My wife will probably loan you one.
Great. All right. Well, all right. So,
Saturday.
So Saturday we're heading up to Fredericksburg.
Correct.
Yes. Saturday we will meet at Gateway like we did last year.
Yep.
From there, we'll work our way to Dripping Springs to Speeding Springs. We got to stop there.
Okay.
You remember Speeding Springs?
No. No, I don't.
You didn't make Speeding Springs, I don't think, last year.
Are you talking
the year before?
Are you talking about the drag strip? No.
No.
Nope.
What's Speeding Springs?
In Dripping Springs, Texas.
Okay. Well, I guess I don't know whether I made it, lost it. I don't know what I did.
Well, they got a new venue there. They got, I believe, a 10,000 square foot.
About 10,000 square foot, loaded with cars.
Oh, yes. I made that. That's out in the countryside when we went down that funky road.
Yeah, we were going to interview them.
Nobody would ever find that place. I don't care whether it's on a map or not. You'd never find it unless you were behind somebody.
Well, now the building that we went to there when you went with us is really small compared to what they've got now.
Okay.
They've got that building and two other buildings, but the other building is a massive, about a 10,000 square foot all wood structure. Beautiful.
Nice.
All brand new.
Well, good.
Okay.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. Now, do I have a reserved spot in line so I can get behind somebody and not lose them and lose my way?
Just get right up against the yellow banana.
The yellow banana. Okay.
Yeah.
You're used to that.
You know, I'm thinking, I don't know how to really reply to that, but
Just make sure your new camera is facing forward, not to the interior
well,
of the
actually,
car.
it's a forward and a rearward facing camera, so I got it covered. All right. So then
You got all bases covered.
I do. I think. I hope. So then then are we headed to Fredericksburg?
Yes. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Because I got a hotel there. Now, I have to tell you that Mr. and Miss, I'm not staying in Fredericksburg. I'm about 20 miles away.
Yeah.
I think it's on Kerrville.
No, not Kerrville, but somewhere out there. I can't. Stonewall?
Oh, yeah, Stonewall.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
where I'm staying in Stonewall.
Kathy and I are about 10 minutes or so, 20 minutes from where he's at. So we're staying out there as well in that area.
And I have to tell you, the hotel that I've got booked, I understand that after I booked mine, they weren't letting people do just a one-nighter. You had to book 2 nights.
weekend, yeah.
But they haven't
We
canceled.
found that out, yeah.
Yeah, they haven't canceled it, and the hotel looks like Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
You're familiar, you're familiar with the show Schitt's Creek,
Yeah,
right?
it's very familiar.
Yeah, and it's got they've redone the strip motel.
Yeah, Motor Lodge.
A motor lodge, yeah, and it looks pretty cool. So we're going to go stay there.
We've got the same thing.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, so that's in Fredericksburg. Now we're going to spend the night there, and I guess there's going to be a big party there.
Yeah. Yes. At Archway Resort. That'll be our stop for that evening.
Okay. All right.
We're all going to have dinner. We're all going to have dinner there. We got reserved parking around the back where the amphitheater is. Fantastic, awesome venue.
Great.
And everybody's going to eat together. We're going to have a big meal for everybody there, and everybody gets to go hang out on the patio or inside wherever you want to sit. It is a large facility. It's a brewery, distillery, and a winery and a farm-to-table facility all in one.
It's going to be a hootenanny.
You had me at distillery.
Yeah.
Winery, too, yeah.
It is a heck of a place.
Hootenanny.
Hootenanny. Okay, then on Sunday morning, what?
All right. Sunday we'll meet there again. That's where we'll take off from, and then we will
Go to Street Dreams.
go to Street Dreams and visit there for
Yeah, I know where that's
about an
at.
hour or so.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And from there, we have 2 options. Working on a poker run. People can make their own routes to certain stops. And we also have a cruise tour that will take a lot of back roads and basically go down to Kerrville and take some back roads there. And our final stop is Lukenbach.
Okay.
Oh,
Last year, nobody wanted to leave. They wanted to stay there, so we made that the last stop.
Gotcha.
Yeah, last year looking back was we were supposed to stop and have a beer, and we were there about 4 hours.
That was a big,
we're
tall
making that
beer.
our final, we're going to make that our final wrap up stop. We've got our own bartender assigned to the Hot Rod Tour Texas, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Is it?
So that's on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening?
Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon. Okay.
Are there still spots left in the limit of cars registrations?
We increased the number from 300 to 350 this year. We're right now about 325, so we got about 25 tickets left, vehicle tickets left, and that's it.
Okay. And so HotRodTourOfTexas.com, it's also on Facebook as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gentlemen,
And
it's great to talk to you. And if we don't talk to you before then,
we will.
We will?
Yeah, we will.
We're going
We have to.
Yeah, we have to. So
We got to find out where y'all are at.
yeah, we got to find
And
out.
our Saturday morning kickoff spot in New Braunfels will be from Gateway Classic Cars.
Yep, like it was last year.
Yes.
Yep, got it.
They're
Gentlemen,
fantastic hosts as well.
it's great to talk to both of you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Can't wait, and we'll be in touch.
All
Very
right,
good, sir.
Thanks for
See
having
y'all
us
soon.
again.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you. Bobby Sparkman, Jeremy Taylor, Hot Rod
Incredible.
Tour of Texas.
I'm excited.
Hey, the
Oh,
In-Wheel
yeah.
Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, InWheelTime.com. Podcast from your favorite podcast provider. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In-Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston, Texas, April 4th through the 6th at NRG Center, featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, trucks, customs, and more. Broadcast on Motor Trend TV and streaming live on Max. From avid collectors to those new to the Mecum experience, we welcome everyone. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
You're on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Thanks for riding with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for Jeff's Wheels on TV.
Well, you just saw the commercial for it. Mecum is this weekend on Motor Trend TV. It starts at 2 p.m. today. It went Thursday,
where are
Friday,
they?
Saturday. They are in Glendale, Arizona.
Okay.
And I saw some of it yesterday at the beginning, and I fell in love with the station wagon.
I think that's where King Tut's from, isn't it?
Glendale?
No, Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But
Okay.
anyways, and it's on at 2 o'clock, and then again, a live broadcast at 5 p.m. That is today. And of course, this evening you got Junkyard Empire, Roadworthy Rescues, Rust Valley Restores, which is Don's favorite.
Love that show.
Yep. And then tomorrow, obviously Mecum doesn't go tomorrow, but tomorrow you got Full Custom Garage, new episodes. You got some new episodes coming up through the evening of Full Custom Garage, and you got some new episodes coming up next week of all your local cool shows.
Recalls.
Oh, boy.
Lots of them. Every Porsche 911, I think, known to man in the 2023 model year. The Carrera, the Carrera 4, the Ford GTS, the 4S, the GTS, Carrera, all of these. Lots of them.
Oh, boy. It kind of chokes you up, doesn't it, to read all that?
It does. Seat belt locking retractor malfunction. Rear view camera image may not display on the Lexus 2324. Which one do you have? The ES? The LC?
She's got the
LS?
LS. I believe it's the LS.
That's the big one.
So it's a 23.
This is 23 and 24 model years. ES Hybrid, LC Hybrid, LS Hybrid, and Mirai.
You know, I better check. I might be wrong on that. Probably am.
That's rear view camera image and unexpected vehicle movement in the Lexus LX 22 to 24, Sequoia Hybrid, Tundra, and Tundra Hybrid. Toyota, I think they're kind of on the bad list this weekend. Insufficient weld in the rear seat frame of the Camry and the Camry Hybrid for 23 and 24. Seat belt warning malfunction, Ram ProMaster 22 to 23. High beams may not activate in the Jeep Grand Cherokee 23 and 24. 24 model Jeep Grand Cherokee improperly machined steering knuckle. That's not good. Loss of control from steering knuckle separation.
Well,
the Jeep Grand Cherokee 21 to 23. Emergency braking can activate unexpectedly. That's not
great.
Good. In the Chevy Colorado and the GMC Canyon for the 23 model year. Jaguar I-Pace missing warning for turn signal failure. BMW i4 and i5 for the 24 model year. High voltage battery may overheat and burn your car down.
Oh, no.
Airbag may not deploy correctly in the BMW X5 and X7. Tailgate panel may detach in the BMW XM. Never heard of that.
Yeah.
Ford Maverick 22 to 23 instrument panel not illuminated. Martha, I can't see how fast we're going.
Turn your illuminators up.
Outer barrier may deploy unexpectedly on a Mercedes-Benz Tour Rider, business and premium. I don't even know what that is.
Is that a side airbag?
I don't know. Outer barrier. Your microphone.
He's got it.
Ford Bronco 23 and 24. Rear glass panels may detach.
Great.
Martha, it's getting a bit breezy in here. And it's cold outside.
Roll the window up.
Improperly secured battery may cause a fire in the Ford F-150 Lightning. Trunk emergency release fail. So if you got that dead body there and you want to get it out of there
okay.
in the Hyundai Elantra,
that's okay.
It's going to stay in there for 2015 to 2016 because you can't get it out. Kia Telluride, high beam headlights may fail. And finally, Toyota Tacoma 22 to 23 rear axle shaft separation.
Wow.
That's not good.
No.
When your rear axle separates. Mars, you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Keep it separated.
Have you had any axle separation lately?
While hauling donkey?
While hauling donkey.
No.
There's
evidently not.
All right. Did want to mention to everyone that we, next week, will be appearing with our live broadcast at the 46th Annual Corvette Chevy Expo at the Galveston Island Convention Center at the San Luis Resort, 5600 Seawall Boulevard. We will actually be an hour late getting on the air because we're going to coincide with the doors opening there. Right. So we'll be on the air from 9 to noon. 9 to noon next Saturday. So please keep that
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. So if you head down there, be sure and stop by and say hello to us.
Big event.
It's a big event. Big one. Matter of fact, that is the one that got me into the show car circuit back in 1978.
It was their fault.
Yes, it was their
1978.
Fault. Yeah. I think there's 135 cars. Meekham's bringing in a bunch of stuff. They're a big sponsor. They're sponsoring our broadcast.
Yeah.
I think that you might be able to get a few tickets to the Houston Meekham auction while you're down there.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
Okay. I'll take a couple.
Yeah.
Always. Thank you. Hey,
but leave your checkbook at home.
please. No, don't leave it. Take it to the auction. Buy yourself
Well,
some
yeah.
so you can take it on the Hot Rod Tour. Hey, quick break now. We'll be right back. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Welcome to the award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we're going to talk to Sarah Vidria, president of the Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge. I hope I said her name right.
We've had her on before, haven't we?
We have, once before.
Yeah.
You'll hear my thoughts on driving the new 2024 Genesis GV80. I think that you'll be as impressed as I was. Pricing in particular is coming your way. Mr. Mars has this week's events calendar as well. It's just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. And I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this kind of a chilly Saturday.
It is windy this morning.
Damp.
Yesterday,
Chilly, yeah.
It was hot and muggy. Now,
like you.
Not so much. Yeah, that's it.
Heavy on the muggy.
Yeah, apparently. All right. Let's talk to Sarah Vidria,
right.
president of the Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge. Sarah, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're pretty good. How are you?
I'm cold.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Introduction.
Where are you?
I'm in Dallas, or right next to DFW Airport. So it is definitely, I say, probably, at least 20 degrees colder than you guys, I think.
and
Yes,
noisy.
exactly. Well, we're feeling the chill down here, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of puts a damper on all things automotive this weekend.
It really does. But, we got to go through this to get to the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
actually, the past couple of weeks have been pretty good stuff for the most part. And, we got more of that coming up. So, please tell everybody that didn't hear the last time you were visiting with us, what is the Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge?
All right, so Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge is a club versus club bracket racing event.
What clubs do you challenge?
So we've got a little bit of everything. We've got GM, we've got, Ford, Chevy.
Those are all clubs within the drag racing world that you live in.
Yes.
Gotcha. And you are the president that kind of oversees these clubs?
I'm overseeing the race series.
The series?
So, yes. So we are, I think, what are we at? 12 races this season, I think. Either 11 or 12. I've got a calendar.
That's all right.
In a minute.
Yep.
So what we're doing is we are kind of traveling back and forth mainly between Extreme Raceway Park and Texas Motorplex. And then we are going to do a couple races down at Little River in Temple. And then we're going to do one in Ardmore, Oklahoma. And we are racing for points. So every event you attend, you get points, and as the further you go, the more points you accrue. So
is it whether you race or not?
You have to take the elimination run the first round to get a point.
Okay.
So if you break before then, which unfortunately has happened to me many, many times, you don't get your point. But on top of driver points, we are also accumulating club points. So everybody who races for that club that day, it gets put into one big pot for the club. So you'll see drivers out there that have got their numbers on their windows, and they have a number and they have like a letter after it. Those letters correspond to our clubs. And ideally this is meant to be club versus club. It's all for bragging rights, of course, and trophies. But at the end of the season, drivers do get some really cool awards and get some cash if we actually do well during the season. We give it all back.
What classes of cars do you race?
So we've got anything from grocery getter, grandma's van.
All right.
Yeah.
It's me.
All the way up to, we've got one guy who runs a T-Altered, and I think he's probably our fastest car right now. Anything from mild to wild, you name it, we got it.
And so are there competitors within the club that race each other?
We try to avoid racing each other in classes as long as we can, but once you start getting towards, quarterfinals and up, you're probably going to race someone.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay. And overall, how many people are in the club?
So for points wise, I want to say we had like 125 to 130-ish drivers.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
It is.
It is. Usually our events, we run probably anywhere from 120 to our big race every now and then at the Motorplex is like 100, almost 160 cars.
This is not some Friday night bowling league kind of thing.
And it's just a one-day event, right?
Yeah, it's just we try to stick to Sundays as much as we can. We do have a couple Saturday night races, just to give people something a little bit different.
But I'm just thinking 160 cars, and you're going to go through eliminations in one day. Things move pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
We do. So we start usually, gates are usually between 8 and 9, depending on the track. We're usually running by about 10 eliminations right after lunch, and then we're usually done by 5.
Now, do you guys are you melded into the track's race plan, or do you just rent the track out?
So we don't really rent the track. We do a profit share with them. So I get X amount off of a tech card, and they get the rest of it. Same with spectators.
It's like part of the gate. You're sharing the gate.
To get the gate fee. Yeah, exactly. And then at the away tracks, we try to run, we call it our cash bracket. So, hey, you want a couple extra passes? I think it's $40. We'll say, hey, local guys, let's come run this race, get some extra passes in, get some extra money for us, which we appreciate.
A couple of first passes, test and tune, and then you get it dialed in and then go.
Yeah, exactly. So our series, we give them 2 test and tune, or 2 time trial passes, and then we start elimination. So you're usually guaranteed at least 3 with the tech card. And then once you are at least in one of our classes, you can run the cash bracket at the away races, and they'll get you at least 1 more.
Well, Sarah, what kind of rivalries are out there between the Fords and the GMs?
No, it's more along the lines of the Econoline van and the Savannah.
That's me. But are there good trash talking going on?
It just depends on the club, unfortunately. We actually, Team Ford, we have combined with another club as of the end of last season. We were always waffling back and forth on car count, and we just couldn't be competitive in the big class. So we joined forces with the Red River, I think it was Red River Car Club, and now we are the Red River Muscle Club. So we are kind of a split between Ford and Mopar.
Gotcha.
But we are making a run at the championship, so we're combining forces.
Y'all get like leather jackets with your collars pulled up.
Right, exactly. No, last couple of years, we have had GM Performance take the winning spot in the big class, and they knocked out our usual winner, who was the Cowtown Mopar team, and they had won it for, God, I don't know, I want to say over 30 years.
Wow. Long enough, anyway.
Yeah. Long enough, exactly. And now GM's won the last 2. So You know what? It's time for somebody. It's time for Ford.
Yeah.
You mentioned larger class. I mean, are the clubs classified like that, like in different
So
categories?
all of so we have a breakdown of however many, I want to say, cars you have on property that day. Usually, I think is it 16 cars or more puts you in the big bracket, and then 7 to 15 is like the middle bracket, and anything less than 7 cars, you're in the lower class. We try to make it fair so that, we don't have one club who's showing up with 40 cars, and then points wise, the guy that's got 2 cars, you can't compete with that.
Does anybody actually race the tow car?
I have had to many times, yes.
You've had to race the tow car.
That's funny.
See, I go way back, and if you didn't have something to race, hey man, unhook the tow car. We'll run that out there.
I've had to race a third stringer, man. It happens.
Third stringer. Points are points,
That is
exactly. That's it. When you're competing in points championship and you're close, that every little point counts.
And it's usually those kind of cars that draw the most attention.
Run what you brung.
Yeah, I mean, look, when Abilene was still open, I was my car had broke. I was borrowing a friend's car, and the altitude and the carburetor just didn't get along. So I ended up having to race my truck. And hey, I won that day.
What were you up against that Ford Econoline or what?
No, I think it was a Dodge Charger.
Really?
Electronics class of all things.
Oh my gosh.
Stock truck versus electronics.
You see somebody and they got a car seat in the back.
The baby seat.
Yeah.
We have. Actually, I've seen that a couple times.
How much fun is that? So I would imagine that, and I'm just using my imagination here, that there are classes that don't have roll bars because they don't go fast enough. And then you've got, do you have any fire suit cars? I mean, guys have to wear a fire suit to race it?
Yeah, so we've got we call it the Corvette Corner Super Pro Muscle. So that is $6.99 and faster. That's 8 mile.
Yeah, $6.99.
Under 10.
Yeah, they're moving.
Anything under 10, you got a roll bar.
Yeah.
You run a quarter or eighth? I don't remember.
We do both. We run up the quarter mile up to 12 seconds, and then anything faster than that is 8 mile only.
Gotcha.
Nice. That's a nice move.
Yeah. Well, it is. If you're right on the border, though, it's not such a fun
thing. Yeah, we have to give a little leeway sometimes.
Yeah, because you got to put a different rear end in it
or
if you're going to win.
It somehow.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking the safety factor and the time to run everything. If you're running $6.99 and you're trying to push a quarter, then you got to have a longer stopping area.
All of that.
All that stuff.
You got to have a fire crew down there.
I'm geared for 8th mile, and I've pushed it through the quarter, and it does not like it.
I'm sure it doesn't. What are you running? 8,000 RPM running through there?
I mean, it was banging the revlometer probably at like 65 in third gear, like screaming at me. It's like, no more.
What is it that you're running?
I am running a 2007 Mustang. It is basically the only thing that's left stock in that car is probably the block's been replaced a couple times too, so not much.
So that's a small tire. You're running a small tire on the back.
Yeah, it's what am I running? Like a 2910, I think.
Okay.
If I remember right, it's blown, isn't it?
It is. It is stroked. It is blown. It is bad when it wants to be when it runs.
Do you ever find any Buc-ee's styrofoam cups in the back seat every once in a while?
No, I have this. I have my Buc-ee's. I have my big cup. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Absolutely. They ought to give those things away. Buy 1,000 gallons worth of gas and get a free cup.
Might as well have.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so you've got a race coming up in a couple of weeks. Where is that going to be?
We do. That is actually going to be our kickoff of the season. It's going to be on the 24th of March. We're going to be at Extreme Raceway Park over in Ferris, which is
Ferris, Texas.
Ferris, Texas,
south of Dallas. Mm-hmm.
Up on I-45.
Yep.
Just north of you guys.
Yeah, just a bit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not too bad.
How far is it from Ennis?
They're probably like 20, 30 minutes apart.
Yeah. So y'all never run at Ennis?
We do.
You do?
I think I want to say we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 races there this year.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I assume that the Ferris track is an 8th mile?
Yes,
yeah,
correct.
Okay. I'm just guessing this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But And there's nothing wrong with an eighth mile, but, when you get to be old and grumpy like me, I'm the old traditionalist. I ain't going to race no eighth mile.
I need 16th.
I need to have me that quarter mile. You understand?
And in a slower car, I don't mind driving a quarter mile. I'll do it. But like mine, yeah, you can't do it.
Just takes longer.
Yeah, I can't. No, because it's
it does. Like I go from like driving my race car to driving my truck. I'm just like, wait, are we moving? What's happening? Go.
Exactly. And so, what are you towing? Are you towing the car? Or are you driving it there?
I do. I tow it. I took it off the street several years ago because I got tired of paying for insurance and registration for a car I drove 3 times a year.
Yeah. And what is the tow vehicle?
It is a 2020 F-150.
Okay. So it's a late model and towing a open trailer Ford Mustang race car.
Enclosed trailer, 24-footer.
Oh my!
Well, it's blown.
Yeah.
You about got to. You got to do some
cover it up.
of it. Yeah.
It lives in the trailer now. It's good. It has a home.
That's good. Now, do you do the work on it?
We do to an extent.
Now you say we. Who's we?
Me and my husband. He gets roped into this all the time, which I'm sure he loves.
And what does he drive?
What does he drive a race car too?
He has in the past. He used to race the tow vehicle whenever I was racing the other. then we had the kiddo, and now he's like, nah, I'll stay home with the kid. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna go race.
Oh wow, very good.
That's good. Well, at least you've got that kind of relationship where it's okay. You go and race, and I'll stay home with the kid.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm gonna go take him to a movie. I'm like, cool, because the kiddo, when he was younger, he loved coming out. Like it was a car show for him. He was in heaven.
Sure.
And then now that he's gotten older, unless there's Wi-Fi, he doesn't want to go.
Well, how old is he?
Got to be a teenager.
He's 9.
Close.
Almost.
Yeah. All right. How do we learn more about the Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge?
So best place to go is actually going to be our website, and that is TMCCC, so TM3Cs.org. We've got a breakdown of all of our rules, all the classes, even got the awesome sponsors on there, including you. You'll notice on the webpage.
Yeah.
Us?
Very, very
Us?
much.
Little old us?
I know, little old you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we, let's see, there's a schedule up there. I'm working on getting some more pictures of cars up there too. Slowly but surely, I'll get there.
You need to have the in-wheel time machine on
There you
there.
go.
Talk about a tow vehicle. There you have it.
There you go.
Yeah, it looks good going down the highway.
Yeah, it's definitely a good 2-miler.
It's got eyeball.
It does, yeah. Well, Sarah, it's great to talk to you, and thank you so much for joining us today. Are you excited about the season?
I am excited because I am actually off for spring break this week. So I finally get to do the rest of the maintenance that I need to get done before next weekend.
So you must be an
Finally get
educator.
my car drivable.
Are you an educator? Are you a teacher?
No, I am actually an auditor, believe it or not,
Oh.
for environmental of all things. So it's kind of my offset for my drag racing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trade out.
But we're both taking off, and we're going to do some maintenance on the trailer in the car, and
Get ready.
Spring cleaning.
Yep.
exactly. I was like, nothing like last minute of a week before, but hey,
Hey, it's better than the night before.
I have done
Sort of
that.
like us.
Yeah.
I have been on jack stands the night before trying to get it wrenched at midnight, trying to get it
We
buttoned up.
all have been there. Are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? Oh, my God.
Right.
We have to stay up all night. That's all right. We'll do it.
So the show starts.
Well, that's how this show starts every Saturday. All right. Well, Sarah, it's great talking to you. Thanks so much. Good luck with this season. We'll check in throughout the year and find out what's going on with you guys.
All right, awesome guys. Have a great day.
You do the
Thank
same.
you.
The Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge, TMCCC.org. Get more information here. Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk.
Yep.
You can do that. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available from your favorite podcast provider. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving.
No, we can't do that. We're going to start that again.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000 square foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston, Texas, April 4th through the 6th at NRG Center, featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, trucks, customs, and more. Broadcast on Motor Trend TV and streaming live on Max. From avid collectors to those new to the Mecum experience, we welcome everyone. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
Okay.
We're sitting here chit-chatting.
We are chatting. The commercial's over.
What that recipe?
Yeah, we were talking about going down to the Corvette Expo next week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Leslie's got hotel reservations down there.
Oh, wow.
But the other issue is that I also, prior to even knowing that this was this weekend, that the Corvette Chevy Expo, months ago, I bought tickets to go see Gary Puckett and the Union Gap out at Main Street Station.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's it going to be? Saturday night. So we're going to go down there on Saturday morning and then drive all the way across the world to Tomball, Texas, for the concert on Saturday night.
But it's Gary Puckett.
Gary Puckett and the Union Gap.
Yeah, I didn't even.
So we need to coordinate with the ladies and what we're doing.
I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know.
We'll let them do that.
Yeah. Time now for the events calendar. Mr. Mars has that.
Speaking of which,
You got
next
60
weekend
seconds,
it
by the
is
way.
the Chevy Corvette Expo.
I just
Galveston
mentioned
Convention
that.
Center. I
Did I
know.
not?
Well, that was the first on my list.
It's reiterating.
And our broadcast, we're going to be there broadcasting, and it's going to be sponsored by Mecum Auction. Then coming up on April the 24th through the 28th, Hot Rod Tour of Texas. Kickoff, we talked to Bobby and them earlier, kickoff in Victoria. It's a weekend of cruising Texas with 350 of your closest hot rod friends. May 4th and 5th, Keels and Wheels at the Lakewood Country Club. Classics on the grounds with resto mods and wooden boats in the water. Go to keelswheels.com. And then on June 7th and 9th, we're going to be at the Lone Star Street Rod Association State Run in Granbury, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
LSSRA.com for more information about that great event.
That's it.
That's it.
Time now for this hour's car review. I got to drive the 2024 Genesis GV80. If you're not familiar with it, listen up. I really did like this, and I would encourage you, if you're looking for something in this mode of standard SUV, midsize, this one had 2 rows, 3 rows are available. It comes in standard, advanced, prestige, prestige matte, prestige signature. I drove the prestige signature. This particular one had 4 bucket seats in it. That's it. It was bad to the bone. Exterior changes from last model year. Well, it was all new in 2023. Great looking front end with extra large, unadorned chrome grille. Also, extra large 22-inch wheels add to the modern look. Divided horizontal tail lights with the spoiler-style sunshade over the hatch window. Body sculpting is sleek with creases and sharp horizontal cues that all add to the beauty. What I liked, one beautiful design straight from a modern studio. What could use improvement? Nothing. I'm not a designer, but I'll tell you what, whoever did it needs a pat on the back. Interior highlights, sleek dash with a horizontal integrated air HVAC vents in it. Instrument pod is simple with a changeable display, whatever you want to put in there, except pictures. Optional quilted seating surfaces add an upscale elegance to the interior. Our 2-row with captain's chairs in the second row means modern elegance. I wrote that.
Yeah, very good.
Cargo trunk room, more than enough for a week's worth of luggage for 4 grown adults. What I liked, the adjustability throughout the cabin. What could use improvement? Well, the infotainment can be confusing at times, and the death knob controller above the shift knob controller is not the best idea. I can't tell you how many times I changed the radio station when I was trying to reach second gear.
Oh.
2 knobs.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. 3.5 liter twin turbo V6, which is standard in the upper trims. It's an option in the lower trims. 375 horsepower.
Wow.
391 pound-feet of torque through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It will tow up to 6,000 pounds. Miles per gallon, 18 in the city, 23 on the highway for a combined of 20. I got 20.3 miles per gallon over 430.6 miles. What I liked about it, I like the power-to-weight ratio. It is perfecto mundo. What could use improvement? Well, me being a hot rodder and all, how about a battery electric assist option to increase the mileage and the power? Just an idea.
Yeah.
If they hadn't thought about it, maybe they will now.
They will.
Ride and handling. Electronically controlled suspension. So use your imagination. What would you think that would be like?
It would be a soft ride, I would think.
It would be, yes, very controllable, very smooth, but superb.
Okay.
What could use improvement? Question mark on that. Base trim price, $81,500. Price as tested, $82,695.
Wow.
Base model price, $57,000.
Very nice. That's better.
Now, if you're looking for something in the competitive nature to this vehicle and price range, look for the Mercedes-Benz GLE class. Starts at $60,990. The BMW X5 starts at $67,500. Or the Audi Q7 for $59,200. All of those, obviously, German cars. This is, ladies and gentlemen, a Korean luxury vehicle.
Yeah. I was in it. I liked it. It was nice.
Ooh, buddy,
Beautiful car.
I'm telling you, it's not that often that I get to drive a vehicle that really turns me on, for lack of a better term. This one did.
And you're a driver. I mean,
I am.
Do that, so you get the aspect of everything out of it.
I do. Well, not everything, but almost everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll tell you. Have you driven this thing, Mars?
Not that one. I think it was a 60 that I drove, but I was really impressed with
Holy
it.
cow. I mean, this is a very nice, well put together. Now, as far as reliability is concerned, it hasn't been on the road that long. I mean, it was brand new last year. But this is one sweet ride.
Feels really solid, well built.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
It's comfortable.
Yeah, it really is. I enjoyed it a lot.
Very good.
If you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. We don't use your email for anything other than communication.
Send us an
We
email. Don't
send
shoot
it.
anything.
No, you're right. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. We are back with a continuation of this fine radio program right after this quick break.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla Restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that help make Lupe Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupe Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupe Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupe's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupe Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupe Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
This is your favorite go-to spot in podcasting and live streaming. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, author Pete Evanall and his book, Ford Bronco, the original SUV. We'll also have Mars' version of This Week in Auto History. Notice that I said Mars' version.
I saw that.
And
it means I can change it.
You can not even do it. And, if I don't hit the button, you ain't doing it. But I think that we have
Jeff and I are going to do it, whether you like it or not.
You're going to tie me up.
Easy, big boy.
Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekit. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday, and thank you very much for joining us. As a matter of fact, let's talk now with Pete Evanall and his book, Ford Bronco, the original SUV. Did you come up with the original SUV, or you know that for a fact?
Well, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. I'm very good, thank you. And yourself, good. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm doing very well, thank you. It was a debate among the publisher, Zach Miller of Motor Books, and myself. It's something that's going to spark a little bit of controversy because I suspect the folks down in Toledo will argue that they are the original SUV, but it was a term that Ford came up with. They determined that they used the word or the acronym SUV first.
Yeah, because it stands for Sport Utility Vehicle.
That is correct.
Yeah,
and they used that to define the Bronco. So technically, that was the first use of the term. So that's why we applied it to the Bronco.
Well. And rightfully so. And you know what? I'll go with that.
Yep.
Okay. and Ford will go with that because, everybody wants to be first at something. So they were the first to use that term.
Okay. So, oh my gosh, all I can think of is the research and all of the stuff that you had to go through to write this.
Really?
I mean, how long did it take you to write this thing?
About a year and a half.
Yeah, because I think that most people think, that was no big deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
a couple of weeks.
He just
sat
down on his Remington typewriter and pounded away for a little while, and it's all good.
Yeah,
but in a book like this, when you're writing something, I toy with being a writer, and I write car reviews for a little local magazine here, and I struggle with it. It doesn't come easy to me. And, I write it, then I rewrite it, then I rewrite it again. I didn't like that sentence. Go back and change it. No, I didn't like it. So forget that. I don't want to even put that in there. Do you have to do that as well when you write a big book like this?
Absolutely. And it's not a Remington, it's a Royal typewriter.
He upgraded, yeah.
Upgraded to a Royal.
Well, in his day, they were Remingtons.
Absolutely.
And as a matter of fact, back in the old newsroom that I used to work in, we had Royals in there. Yeah.
Well, we're all kind of dating ourselves, but when I was in college back, when dinosaurs roamed the planet like you guys, we were all using typewriters.
Of course, yeah. And when you use a typewriter and you write a book, you better be darn good, because they ain't like going back and editing now on a computer.
Like a chisel and a palette there.
But I started the research with the good help of the folks at Ford. I got to give a shout out to Ted Ryan. He's the archivist at Ford. And that man, he knows everything.
We have actually had him on the show.
Yep.
And it was absolutely fascinating to talk to him. Oh, my gosh. We're talking about a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, my gosh. You're so right. I mean, he knows everything. And he's been there a long time. He was very, very generous with his time and research. He opened up everything to me.
He went from a different industry over to doing that for Ford, if I remember correctly. And then he stayed at Ford for many, many years still.
I mean, the man's a sponge.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so I did a lot of digging. I did a lot of interviewing. It was just to me, I love research. So I'm a faculty member at Cal State Fullerton here. I've been a teacher the last 23 years. Before that, I was in the automotive business forever. I was in motorsports. I actually worked with Ford for many years, but so I know what it takes to write a book. I've written 2 other books, 4 motor books as well on Nissan, because I worked at Nissan in their motorsports department too. Yeah. But it took a while to write it. It took a while to rewrite a lot of things. I had the help of an editor on staff at Motorbooks, and she beat me up. But I'm pretty good about grammar. My mother was an English teacher, so every day was I had to learn a new piece about grammar, so I'm pretty good about that. But it's all about making sure that it flows well, and that you're writing for your audience. You're writing for Ford enthusiasts, you're writing for Bronco enthusiasts, but you got to make sure that everything is accurate, because you're going to have somebody out there who says this wasn't right, and so I got to write for those people too.
I hear you. I hear exactly where you're coming from. Okay, so let's go into the actual vehicle itself, the Ford Bronco, the original one. So Now, the original one was first introduced in the 66 model year. So that, to me, tells me that they started working on this somewhere around 62, 3, somewhere in there?
Absolutely right. Yeah.
And so what prompted them to come up with the Bronco then? Because, let's face it, I mean, the off-road community was very small compared to what it is today. And not too many people really knew all that much about it, except the real true off-roaders, and most of those vehicles were purpose-built.
Absolutely right. The rationale for this was that they really realized that there was a niche to be occupied.
Yeah.
And Ford was paying close attention to the Scout that International was building.
Right.
Ford did recognize what Jeep was doing, but they felt that they could do it better. And so Donald Frey, who of course created the Mustang with Lee Iacocca, he was really the driving force behind creating this Bronco. They were already good with building a pickup truck, and so they said, you know what, we need to go one step further and create this off-road vehicle.
Well, I think that it was really an SUV for all people, whether you were an off-roader or not. And it became so popular, people going to the beach, especially out there in California. Right. My gosh, it just kind of fit right in.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a good multi-purpose vehicle because being in Detroit, it was good for pushing snow with the plow in front.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
A friend of mine that I went to high school with, he had one. His dad bought him one, and he did that for that specific reason. He drove it back and forth to school, but he also used it for clearing lots and things.
Evan, do you ever think for a minute that the popularity of the original little tin can Bronco would be in hundreds of thousands of dollars now going across auction blocks?
No. I think there's probably people. I had one many years ago. I paid $13,000 for it, and I sold it for $18,000, and I'm kicking myself because it probably is now $78,000 or $108,000, depending on whether the fenders were still cut. So anyway, that's just the way things are. So everything of value goes up. But it's astonishing how much the early Broncos are worth today.
I'm dying to ask, did you interview OJ for the book?
No, I didn't.
I think that was a different era.
All right,
different era
sure.
Bronco. But I mean, that's part of what amazes me is the amount of material you had to go through. I mean, to look at, to be able to put a book together like this.
Yeah. Did they point you in the right direction when you went to the archives?
They did. They pushed me in all directions. They showed me all the prototypes that didn't make it.
Wow.
That was a fascinating part that I've included. I got to tell you a funny story about the OJ one. I found the original OJ vehicle is in a museum. I believe it's in Tennessee that highlights gangsters and criminals and all that kind of stuff. I think John Dillinger's car is in there, so it's in with the proper people,
Bonnie and Clyde,
or proper vehicles. But I tried to use a picture from it, and they said, "Oh no, we won't allow that vehicle to be in your Bronco book." And I'm like, "Well, why not?" They said, "Well, that's not the proper audience that we want to go after." I said, "Okay, well, that's fine." But sales of the Bronco actually kind of ramped up after OJ's little incident, and Ford was already planning on the next vehicle. They'd already had thought that the Bronco by that time was going to be shut down as a Bronco by '96.
Well, I think that the old saying is, what is it? Race on Monday, sell on Tuesday, or no?
Race on Sunday, sell on Monday. Yeah.
But you get my point. I mean, I don't know when the chase was on, but whatever the chase was on, the next day they started selling Broncos.
Yeah. But they did send me in the right direction. I got a lot of great help from the folks at Ford.
Yeah, well, and I will say this, that even the later model Broncos have become popular again, and especially if they've got now under 100,000 miles on them. That's not too much.
Yeah.
So what was the most interesting thing that you found out in your research on the original Bronco and its design?
Most interesting thing. That's a great question. There was never really a consideration for a four-door at that time, but what I really liked was the little Roadster that they built. That one was the one that didn't have a door. It was more of a little, really Southern California styled vehicle. It came as a convertible. It was, talk about it being unsafe. It really didn't have anything in terms of protecting you. The seatbelts were tentatively an option at that time. Wow. But it to me, it would have been today. It would sell very well with proper safety equipment, but it did not last very long. But it was the Roadster is probably the most limited production car, but it was a fascinating looking little vehicle.
Very interesting. Did you happen to research what was the biggest selling year for the Bronco in the original form?
Oh boy, you asked a question that I probably should tell you right off the top of my head. I believe it's going to be 1969.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to guess, but that would have been my guess, because it comes out in '66, and that the sales ramped up. People see them and they go, "I really like that." And I would think that '69 would have. When did they change the body style from the original? The first time.
The first time was in 1977.
Wow.
So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. So 77 is when they went to the larger model.
That actually 78 was when they went to the larger model.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
they kept it from 66 to 77. So
that's a long run, and I'm sure that they did quite well with that original design. Anything about the new Bronco?
Well, the new Bronco, what they did keep that everybody was grateful for is they kept the round headlights. And I think that was critical to the success and to the homage to the original.
Well, I will say this. I know that when Jeep, I don't know what year that was.
73, I believe.
73, they went to those square headlights. And everybody went, no, don't do that.
Real Jeeps
that was one year where they went to those rectangular headlights.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was probably a major faux pas on their part. But
they never did it again.
The round headlights was good. Having so many different models was probably very smart. So, there's an old saying, there's an ass for every seat. I mean, in this case, there's an enthusiast for every seat. So, they started with the first edition. They then went into Big Bend, Black Diamond, Outer Banks, Badlands, Wild Track, and then eventually they came up with the big one, which of course is a homage to the sport vehicle, of course, the Raptor, which of course they call the Braptor.
Yeah.
But having all those different models is smart because they appeal to different people. And then having the Bronco Sport, which is the smaller version based on the Ford Escape, that was a lower priced version, going after an audience that maybe couldn't afford the bigger Bronco, but maybe wanted something that was an everyday cruiser that they could take back and forth to school, back and forth to work, or just, as a second or third vehicle. So I think those were all very smart strategies on the part of Ford in doing that. And then, there are just so many new options and accessories that Ford offers you as a consumer or as an enthusiast, that you can do a lot of different things off-road, as well as just to upgrade your vehicle.
Well, I have to tell you that I had a chance to drive the Bronco Sport. I still haven't gotten the Bronco, but at any rate, in the press fleet. But I'll tell you, I really did like the Bronco Sport. And for those that are thinking, well, man, I just can't afford that Bronco. Well, if you're not really a serious off-roader, go the Bronco Sport.
Yeah,
the thing rides great. I was. Did you mention that in the book at all?
I did. Absolutely.
Yeah, because it'd be difficult not to mention it because it's part of the whole Bronco revitalization from Ford.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a whole section on the Bronco Sport because it definitely appeals to a distinct audience. It has its own following, but there's definitely a market for that vehicle.
What about those years that they didn't produce a Bronco? It's kind of like a blackout period. I mean, what happened?
Well, it was a time that Ford felt that they needed to. I don't know whether they just decided that the Bronco had seen its time, because the focus then was, of course, on the Explorer. And when the Explorer was launched, man, it took off. And then from the Explorer, they built the Expedition. I'm sorry, the Expedition. The Expedition. And the Expedition was, kind of like the big Explorer, and it did very well. And then from there it came the Excursion. And so they had three versions of SUVs, and the Bronco, for whatever reason, even though it had a very devoted audience and a very strong membership base, was just not in the headlights or in the scope of Ford's thinking. But that doesn't mean that they weren't thinking that they didn't have it in a future decision. I can remember being at the Detroit Auto Show in 2004 where Bill Ford came out with a prototype, and that was it was a beautiful looking downsized Bronco that they brought out on the stage there at Cabo. Was it Cabo?
Cobo Hall.
Cobo
Hall.
Yep.
Yeah, and so they brought that out, and it looked beautiful. And I do a piece on that inside the book about what happened to all these prototypes, but it just wasn't right. The timing wasn't right because they were still selling the tons and tons of Explorers.
Pete, how many pages is the book?
Oh, the book itself is 176 pages.
Good. So it's not like some thing that I'd have to check out
War
at the
and
library.
Peace. Yeah,
War and Peace.
A what?
War and Peace. It comes in
War and Peace.
volumes.
Yeah, and it is also a picture book. You got some illustrations in there as well.
Oh, I've got lots and lots of illustrations. Many of them come from the archives of Ford, so I have to thank them again for letting me have those.
Well, what a great present, especially whether you own a Bronco, want a Bronco, had a Bronco,
or just a Ford guy,
that'd be a great
Father's Day's coming up.
Father's Day, Mother's Day, my birthday.
Can you get the book online, Amazon, etc.?
You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at your local bookstore. You can get it at Barnes and Noble. It's it'll be coming out on March 12th is the day it's released.
Very nice. Well, we're right around the corner. Pete, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you, gentlemen. Hello from California.
Thank you very much. And hello from Texas.
Thanks
Again, Pete. Pete Evanoff with Ford Bronco, the original SUV. Hey, the In-Wheel Time Car Talk show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. And podcasts, they're available from your favorite podcast provider. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In-Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston, Texas, April 4th through the 6th at NRG Center, featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, trucks, customs, and more. Broadcast on Motor Trend TV and streaming live on Max. From avid collectors to those new to the Mecum experience, we welcome everyone. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
Welcome back to the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Don't make fun of me.
Oops. No, I was just thinking.
No, you were making fun of me.
We get to talking.
We got our feet up. We got our headsets on.
Smoking cigarettes.
There you go, drinking a beer.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is.
We good.
Welcome back to the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Time now for This Week in Auto History.
Yeah.
And
yes, sir?
Mr. Mars is Mr. Historian today.
Yeah, well, we're trying. So there's a lot of stuff going on this week in auto history. And back in 1949, I'm talking slow.
I remember it well.
Yeah. Preston Tucker developed the Tucker 48. Turned out to be a very futuristic vehicle that had a lot of innovations that we now find as standard things in our automobiles, such as safety glass, padded steering wheels, things like that.
How about the headlight that moves
and
when you turn the steering wheel?
The center Cyclops headlight. Yeah, the headlights that follow now with the steering. So it was all great. Unfortunately, an investigation by the Security and Exchange Commission, even though he was found not guilty, put the Tucker Corporation into receivership in 1949, noted, found this, the company was only able to produce 51 completed Tuckers during that time, and almost all of them have been accounted for, but a lot of people think there's still one out there somewhere that's never been accounted for. Also this week, in 1902, AAA is founded. Now, actually, 9 motor clubs went together and combined their membership of 1,500 individuals to form AAA as an advocate for better road,
I think that we need to start our own motor club.
We could do that.
The IWT
Motor Club.
IWT.
Bunch of hoopties.
Yeah, exactly.
Then in 1964, the first generation Ford Mustang was manufactured by Ford. They did that from March of 64 to 1973.
That was a 64 and a half.
And it was a white convertible powered by a 260 cubic inch V8. Now, the other thing about the Mustang, it created the class of automobiles that are now known as pony cars. And then in 1969, Pontiac unveiled its first Firebird Trans Am Pontiac and entered it into the Trans Am series in 1968. And then a year later, they introduced the Trans Am Firebird for public purchases. And that's this week in auto history.
Very good.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Well, not quite in 69, but...
No, I know, but it eventually evolved
yes.
into that. Right. I'll never forget the Autorama that we did, and we had the Smokey and the Bandit actors and the car and the whole 9 yards. We got a picture of them with us.
Yeah, we did.
That was fun.
Interview Buford T. Justice.
Buford T. We sure did.
They were really good.
Well, Volkswagen Group faces a pair of lawsuits in Germany over claims it was the battery in a Porsche electric vehicle that triggered the 2022 fire on board a massive cargo ship that eventually sank with thousands of cars on board.
We did a story on that.
One of the suits was filed in a court in Stuttgart, where VW's Porsche unit is based. The case was brought by half a dozen plaintiffs, including Mitsui O.S.K. Lines, the ship's operator, and Allianz, one of the insurers of the vessel, according to a spokesman for the tribunal. The case was filed a year ago but was recently paused because of mediation talks planned for a second lawsuit over the ships that is currently before a court in Brunswick. Both cases will resume if no settlement can be reached. The Brunswick judge plans to hold the talks later this month, according to a tribunal spokesman.
That's all that's still down the bottom.
Oh, yeah, and it will probably remain there. Panama flag Felicity Ace caught fire near the Azores archipelago in the Atlantic Ocean 2 years ago and was left adrift after the crew was rescued. An internal email from VW's U.S. operations at the time revealed there were 3,965.1 vehicles aboard the ship. The cargo ship's loss could have cost the automaker at least $155 million, according to a risk modeling company's estimate. The plaintiffs claim that the fire originated from the lithium-ion battery of a Porsche model and alleged VW failed to inform them of the danger and necessary precautions needed to transport such vehicles, according to the Stuttgart court. Dodge is bringing its signature attitude to the electric vehicle world with the next generation Charger, while also continuing the nameplate's legacy of gasoline-powered performance. The brand, known for pushing the envelope and brashly embracing speed with its Hellcats and Demons, isn't leaving the mentality behind with its first EV, which includes modes for drifting and doing donuts. 2024 Charger Daytona Scat Pack will deliver 670 horsepower with a 260-mile range and a 0 to 60 time of 3.3 seconds. Another option is the 496 horsepower Daytona RT trim with a range of 317 miles. The electric coupes are scheduled to enter production in mid-24. Production of four-door versions begins in the first quarter of 25. CEO Tim Kuniskis said the ultimate performer in the Charger EV lineup, which will be called the Banshee, is coming next year.
I can see it now, out cutting donuts.
Yeah, no horsepower or no sound.
And the tires don't squeal, nothing. Yeah.
The In Real Time Car Talk Show continues after this.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invite you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Well, that's it for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Now, your invitation to follow us on Facebook. Give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our stuff. We'll keep you posted on all things automotive all week long, including our famous interviews, new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing, manufacturer, and car, truck, and SUV news. When you are looking for some award-winning car talk to listen to during the week, you can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 via the iHeartRadio app. Daily 30-minute podcasts available from your favorite streaming provider. We post a new episode every day. Don't forget, we live stream this show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time. The In Wheel Time Marketing, Advertising Advisor, and Video Technical Director, as we always need more Jeff Zekin. For booking agent, video editor, posting possum, and overall do-all, Mike Mars, and Chief Engineer David Ainsley, I'm Don Armstrong. We hope you'll join us next week for a special broadcast from the Corvette Chevy Expo at the Galveston Convention Center. It's on the seawall in Galveston. We'll have another live award-winning production of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. It's next Saturday, March 16th at a special time, 9 a.m. to noon on all of our In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets. Have a great weekend and be safe out there.